Greetings, everybody, from the planet Krypton. 40-ounce cheddar cheese reels. Third time's the try. You know how it is. Okay, I'm actually like I'm acting kind of like not different than before. We got Cheddar right up top. See him with the Superman shirt. He's our go-to guy for any lore knowledge. I am not a DC fan. Well, that's
Ooh,
not
I'm
true.
gonna try. I am a DC fan. I have, but I've also been out of the game for a little bit. Um, but more than a casual viewer, less than a dedicated DC head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try because today the movie we're gonna talk about today, in case you haven't already guessed it, is the brand new Superman movie, the beginning of the brand new DCU,
Yeah.
which I'm very excited about
Shout
what the
out to
future
that
holds.
traitor James Gunn for leaving us Marvel fans out to dry.
To be fair, they shouldn't have fired him.
Yeah,
Super
that's
old tweets.
God. That's. I mean, wait, is that really what happened? They fired him, and then James Gunn was just like, "I'll go to DC then."
No. I mean, okay, it's like they fired him. DC picked him up for the Suicide Squad remake or whatever you want to call that. The Suicide Squad as opposed to Suicide Squad. But anyway, they picked him up for that. He did that movie, and then I mean, he pretty much finished off his because he went back and finished off his stuff with Marvel. He went back and did the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. DC was looking for a new head of whatever. I guess the stars just happened to perfectly align, and James Gunn snagged that new job as the CEO of or whatever. Him and because it's technically him and Peter Safran or whatever are
Mm.
co-CEO. Because everyone always gives credit to James Gunn when it's a two-man job. I think
Yeah.
not Zaslav. Zaslav's the head of WB, but like Peter Safran is like head of like the books. James Gunn is like head of like the actual I think movie aspect, like the actual hiring direct. I don't know. I think they're co CEOs anyway. At the end of the day, they're co
Yeah.
CEOs. Yeah. The stars
Mhm.
aligned, and we stacked them up.
I mean, and I'll be honest. Like, there's a lot of people probably like myself who have never been like huge Superman fans, and you
Yeah,
hear James Gunn's taking a crack at like trying to make so like true Superman fans kind of get why Superman's someone that you should actually root for. And there's people like myself who are kind of like I'm very like anti Mary Sue characters. So
mm,
and then from like the outside looking in, you kind of like always see Superman as the guy that's like he's gonna come in like we gotta wait for Big Blue. We gotta wait for my boy to come in, you know. And I say my boy, I mean like literally I'm just being like, well,
no,
where's
no, but yeah.
Superman? But yeah,
Well, that's what they would say. I'm not what they say, but like that's their boys. The people that are actually saying that is
yeah.
their boy. So
And
that's fair.
there's a certain level of like from like the outside looking in, Superman always felt like a dry chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be a good chicken sandwich, but it's kind of dry. Like his love interest is Lois Lane. They work at a newspaper. Like there's a lot of things that like he wears glasses to hide his identity, and you're just like, okay, that's what's his backstory? He came from another planet. His parents were people from the south. Like like it's just one of those things where you see all this stuff, and then you go and unfortunately compare it to like maybe not a Batman because Batman's more interesting because of his rogues gallery, in my opinion. Before we start getting killed, before I start getting killed, because I'm not bringing Cheddar with me into my own opinions on this. Like me and him do not speak for each other. AKA, if you hate me, it's okay. Just don't hate him. He's so sweet. Um, but you get it right where it's like you look at like Spider Man and you're just like it's really easy to relate to, and he has all these like regular
Mm,
problems. And then you look at
yeah,
Clark and then you kind of go like it's hard to make the situation of Superman interesting without focusing like because you have to make both parts, right? Batman's interesting because Bruce Wayne is rich and he deals with like the rich side of it, but you also know that he doesn't really care about the rich side. He is Batman first, Bruce Wayne second, or a lot of
yeah.
depictions are.
I mean, the complaint I used because I'm not the biggest Superman fan either, but I remember
Mm,
because me and Fuller would get into it every now not get into it, but we talk about it a little back and forth. My complaint, I'd have that I guess generic complaint that like Superman is usually like you said, kind of all powerful, doesn't really struggle, comes in, can shut down the threat, virtually unstoppable. It's not that I never found him to be that interesting of a character as opposed to Plus, like, yeah, in terms of personality, he's, in my opinion, he's more kind of milk toast, where it's like he is, hey, I'm a good guy, and I'm whatever, as opposed to someone like, I don't know, like Wally West's Flash, who's a little
I
bit
was
more
gonna go for that.
snarkier.
Yeah,
Um, he has to use his powers in an interesting way because he's not just like super fast and super strong and laser power eyes and super breath and like I don't know. I've never found him to be that interesting of a superhero. I guess I can't remember. Fuller would always have some kind of retort about why that was wrong. I can't remember what it is right now. But so some people, I think the people that are actually Superman fans would disagree with that, and they had their reasons why. Can't tell you what, but
it also depends on the depiction because, as we all know,
that's it.
as time
That wasn't a
progresses, these entities are not held to the same standard. There are times where Spider-Man gets cut. I mean, like, and you just have to sit there and read the comic and go, like, why is he getting cut? Why have y'all done this to my Spider Boy? Um,
oh yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
Especially yeah.
well,
They refuse to let that man be with Mary Jane. I don't understand why, because I don't read it too much, but they refuse to let that man be with Mary Jane.
dude.
I don't get it.
Speaking of like random relationships, like they're just like what made Wonder Woman more interesting is if she was trying to mess with Superman, and I was like, but where's Lois Lane in the picture? It's like, well, she don't got powers. She ain't strong.
I said there's some aspects where I've seen it work relatively wellish. Like I'm a big fan of the Injustice comic series where like Superman went kind of it's a different universe. Superman went kind of evil. Wonder Woman was in his ear, kind of goading him to like, hey, keep doing all this evil stuff, bro. Keep doing all this evil stuff. And it was like, oh, it was an interesting story. But I've seen it sometimes where it worked. But
And
anyway,
it makes sense for Wonder Woman because she's part like
or
ancient
whatever.
warrior. So it's just like, why don't you just kill him? Like the fact that
Yeah.
Wonder Woman doesn't kill a lot of people, or like we don't know and like we don't remember her killing a lot of people, considering that she is like from Greek descent, where like most of the problems are like they're in your way. You might as well cut off their head, kind of deal. It's kind of crazy. Um, also, I Justice League Unlimited. We got to put a little quick shout out for myself. Um, Batman and Diana were hilarious together because it was like angry Batman not wanting to mess with the hot Amazonian chick that really liked him. That's
That was an interesting couple. I don't know if they've done that too many times. I think they've. I can't think of a time that they've done it in the comics like that. I think there is maybe somewhere where they try to bring that back as like I don't know though. But anyway,
yeah. It's a weird way
that
to
was a
go and
very interesting couple.
getting Wonder Woman to Gotham is the hardest part. Like getting anybody to Gotham. It's like, hey, Wally West, you want to go to Gotham? Why? Why do I want to go there? Superman, you want to go to Gotham? Did Batman's back hurt? Like, do we need someone at Gotham right now? Because if Batman's fine, we're not going. Like, I'm good.
Yeah,
There's never like has there ever been a Green Lantern in Gotham?
no, but that can
Oh,
think of.
oh, send somebody to Gotham. There's a lot of problems out there. That's even Owen's like,
Unless you want to count, what was it? Justice League War, and did you ever seen Justice League War animated movie where they specifically go to Gotham to find Batman because they think Batman's
oh,
because there's a
because
whole
of
bunch of
it was like
yeah,
their Civil War.
it's
Yeah,
like the origins of the Justice League. It's like a whole bunch of terror demons are like going out and around, and somebody describes it as like a bat-like creature. So they're like, "Oh, let's go to Gotham because there's that bat creature in Gotham." And they go
yeah.
there, and they're like, "Oh, wait, no, he's trying to figure out what's going on." Too. That was a dope movie.
Yeah, that was cool because they're like, oh my god, you are just a regular guy, and he was
Yeah,
like boo or something. That was funny.
but I think we digress.
Yeah, I digress. Let's go. Let's get into the actual thing. We're tickling everybody's fancies
I
with
could talk
superhero talk.
DC lore stuff for ages, but we're here to talk about Superman and the
Yep.
Superman movie. So, I guess what are your initial thoughts of Superman?
So this
What would you
movie literally I watched specifically because it was with like James Gunn directed it, and there
mm-hmm.
was also things leading up to it with like people who played like Guy Gardner and stuff, and where they're just like explaining the character. Yeah, yeah. The guy I forgot the name of the actor, but there's just certain levels of like when an actor truly explains a character that I barely have information about, but I can tell
Mhm.
you like the basic idea of what that character should be, right?
Yeah.
The guys like Guy Gardner is called in when you need to have someone do atrocious things because they're not actually a good person, but they do
Yeah.
work within the they're not a mean they're not evil, but they're just like if you need someone to like bend the rules, this is the guy. Like it's not going to be John Stewart. It's not going to be Hal Jordan. It's not going to be Kyle Rayner. It might be Kyle Rayner, but no. So like
Yeah, that's the thing. Guy Gardner is for all intents and purposes a dick.
yeah, yeah. And you know
He'll
what?
get the job done. At the end of the day, he'll do it, but you might actually kind of he might grow on you, but like for the most part, he's pretty much he's a lovable dick. I guess
Yeah, he's a
you say.
peacemaker with a Green Lantern.
That's fair.
Speaking of peacemaker. Oh, by the way, um, let's go ahead and get right into this quick little spoiler alert.
Oh yeah.
As any other video of anything ever, if you're looking for content on people talking about something that has been out and has happened, we are going to break down the story.
If
So,
you plan on watching Superman and you care about spoilers, you care about actual like the stuff about the plot, then go watch the movie before you watch this. Yeah.
and I think I speak for myself, and maybe for you. It is worth it to watch this movie untouched by other people's opinions, just so you can form your own on this
Oh
specific movie. Because it's the start of the franchise of this like the DC universe, cinematic universe.
yeah.
So definitely check it out and see what you think before, and then like, comment, subscribe on the channel. Check us out, watch the video, and enjoy. But yeah, so the movie starts off. Boom. Shoom.
Oh wait. Let me get my initial thoughts real quick too.
Oh, yeah, go
Oh wait,
ahead.
did you like the movie?
What's up?
Did you like the movie?
Yeah. I like James Gunn. I like the way that the direction of this film. There was definitely like a certain point where I was like realizing that I was legitimately enwrapped into the story, because like there's a
Yeah.
lot of moving parts. There's a lot of stuff going on that we'll talk about, but it's certain levels of like a lot of movies sometimes make you not feel the gravity of a situation. Where this movie, like the villains make you not like them, like legitimately. Like you're like a lot of times villains kind of go like, "I'm evil, but I have reasons, He-Man," But this one was one of those where it's like they kind of took, and we're going to talk about this, but they took Lex in an interesting direction because there's so many variations of Lex Luthor, but they've been kind of
Mhm.
moving Lex Luthor from like this guy who is like just like a Tony Stark that hates a guy a lot. Because like Tony
Mhm.
Stark's like rich and has all this like money and intelligence and whatever, but Lex is kind of in that same realm of like hyper intelligent. But they're moving him from like, because when I remember Lex Luthor, I remember like only like five people knowing that he was evil. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like it's like, hey, Lex is doing horrible things. You know how many people know that Lex is doing horrible things? Five people, until they find out. Until like
Yeah.
Superman's like, I found you, I got you. In
Yeah.
this movie, there were just like, guess who's helping hit Lex Luthor? More people than I expected. He had a lot more
Yeah.
henchmen.
Well, I mean, he's always had like his whole Let's Court thing going on, and like, well, not but most of the time, but like he's always has like because that's the thing, because everyone that's help. I mean, yeah, he's working with other nations in this movie or whatever, but like I feel that's on par. Like he always has his plans that he's trying to do, whatever it is he's trying to do. Um, and what was I gonna say? But I mean, I love the fact this movie makes him straight evil.
Well, yeah, but like my point was
He
more
is
so like,
certified hate.
and this is gonna work kind of, and I'm gonna shift it. So I'm ready for you to jump in. The start of the film is Superman getting his butt kicked, goes to the thing, right? Crypto tries to help him. It's kind of cute. It's kind of
Which
like,
okay, wait. I do have to talk about for a second, just the very
go
start
ahead.
because I do appreciate what because that's the thing James Gunn was saying before the movie even came out. He said this like everyone was kind of worried about at first because he's like he announced the cast or whatever. He's talked about how Green Lantern's going to be in it, Hawk Girl's going to be in it, Mr. Terrific's going to be in it, Lex is going to be in it as like the bad guy, Superman obviously is going to be in it, then Crypto's going to be in it. But like he has it established like this is a superhero universe. We're dropping you guys into this universe. There is no let's spend a bunch of time doing a whole bunch everyone's origin stories. Let's do which granted that was a because I think people were worried because that was kind of a mistake that the old DCEU was trying to do was like let's rush all these stories, let's get all these characters in here so we can have our Justice League and do this. I mean, he did it very well, where he's like the opening credits, the opening scene is like literally like three centuries ago, metahumans were discovered on Earth. 30 years ago, Superman crash landed, a baby crash landed onto the into where's Superman from?
Krypton,
Smallville. Well, no, oh
Smallville.
yeah, crash landed from Krypton into Smallville.
Good old planet Smallville out here.
Well, crash landed on Earth at Smallville. Was adopted by the Kents.
Uh,
3 years ago, he debuted as Superman, and he's the strongest metahuman the world's ever seen. 3 hours ago, he started a fight with the Hammer of Baravia,
oh, can I put a
and
quick timeout? How do you feel about the terminology of metahuman? Because I absolutely despise it, only because it reminds me of X Men, and I'm like, keep X Men at Marvel. DC can do something else because I don't remember DC using metahuman ever.
oh no, they've always used metahumans.
Okay, then I've just literally I've just taken
There's a point. There's a point where they even try to. I don't know why they like, because this was in DC Dark Knight's Metal. They try. I don't know if it was a retcon or something they've been working out before, but they were trying to say that there was a special metal that was in all these metahumans' blood, so that the term metahuman came from like metal human. It was some weird thing they tried to.
oh,
But
that's
they've
terrible.
always metahuman has always been a thing.
Okay, okay,
Um, yeah, so it's yeah,
I'm
but
wrong.
like, and it's like 3 hours ago he started a war, or started a fight with the Hammer Bravia,
Mm.
and 3 minutes ago he lost his first fight. And then it shows you. Does it show him crashing into the ground?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it shows him like crashing into the Arctic, just like laying. Anyone that's seen the teaser trailer with him like in the ground, like
yeah.
barely trying to breathe, that's
Crypto.
the opening scene of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he like, calls out for Crypto to come get him, and I was like, because it was just to have that being the start of the scene, I think is dope. And I seen online, which I guess we can get into a little bit later. But yeah, that's how things kind of start off. He calls out to Crypto.
yeah,
You see Crypto come in, so you get a very like a direct introduction to Crypto, a direct introduction to Superman getting his tail whooped. Um, he Crypto drags him to the Fortress of Solitude,
yeah.
which love the Fortress of Solitude. And then they show in the trailers as well, but you can
It
see
would have
all
been
the
cool to
Superman.
see more areas in the Fortress of Solitude, because when they
Yeah,
have people kind of go around it, it kind of feels like it's just like
right.
one circle with like a computer and some robots, but you can definitely
Yeah,
see other rooms. And there,
yeah, true.
spoiler alerts, some scenes where people come from some of these rooms, and you're like, how big is the Solitude Fortress of Solitude really? Because they don't really give like a good sense of grasp outside of the gates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We can go out of sequence on this. So
a
Supergirl
little bit.
shows up. We
Yeah,
already gave
super,
a spoiler
that
warning.
honestly, that cameo caught me completely off guard because I didn't even know
Yeah,
they had casted her yet. Which I mean, I'm trying
yeah,
not to tune too much into news so I can be surprised by stuff I see in movies. But I didn't realize they had actually formally casted Supergirl and they had her in the movie because I knew no. I think the plan for her movie. I do know the plan for her movie. I think is going to be Lobo. It's going to be
mm,
in it in some way, shape, or form, and I'm pretty sure they've signed on Jason Momoa as Lobo, which is like,
that's
man,
good. Lobo Rolo
I don't know
Chrolo.
where Aquaman came from, but he was born to play Lobo. Let's
Yeah, I mean
be
he was
real.
good as Aquaman too, just like a
It
different
was fine.
variation.
It was, yeah, it's
But
a very different. It's a very very different version of Aquaman, especially when you're talking about like Arthur Curry, who I think who he's supposed to be.
yeah,
But Lobo fits his, which he said he wanted to play Lobo. That's what his
yeah.
dream was, to play Lobo. But anyways, that's where I think they're going with Supergirl movie. I think, but like very surprised to see her in the movie popping in at the end, which because me and Phil kind of talked about this a little bit too. Like it made sense that because like the way he was with Crypto throughout the movie, if you think about it, because he did say, "Oh, like Lois asked him, he's like, you have a dog?" He's like, "Well, not really. It's more like a foster situation." And you think about the fact like he's got an apartment in
Yeah,
Metropolis, but like he just leaves there and leaves Crypto at the crib, at the Fortress of
yeah.
Solitude, just all by himself for like days on end, weeks on end, whoever knows. Like so it's very interesting to find. I mean,
Well, like,
it makes sense to
the way
find
he
out
words it,
that's not
con-
his dog.
yeah. Well, so like the way he words it consistently, and I think I love this about like the way the writing direction was is the like Superman saying that it's a foster situation essentially sounds like Crypto crash landed on the planet as well, which means that
True,
now he
true.
has to take responsibility for this like random dog that has the Kryptonian powers.
Yeah.
But so like you kind of like you
He
answer
didn't,
your
he
own
didn't, it's not
question.
like he said this is a babysitting situation. He's like, this is a foster situation.
Yeah,
Like, this dog just kind of fell in my lap. Now I'm gonna take care of it, which is right. Yeah, you
yeah.
can interpret that
He could have
maybe.
literally just been like, I have a cousin who needs me to watch this dog, and then everyone would be like, oh,
Yeah, it was really woven in pretty
is
nicely.
Eternal Zod?
But like, but like this opening, or not opening, but like the opening Sword Shotsu thing does bring up a minor complaint. Not a complaint. It wasn't a real complaint. I mean, it was fine, but I felt like there's a little bit of expedition dumping they did with the Superman robots. That was kind of not. It wasn't a major complaint, but it's just like because would those robots really? Because they did a lot of exhibition like, oh, let's play the tape of his mother and of his parents because he looks it makes him comfortable, and then they'll play the tape and they explain a lot, and it's like, yeah, would the robots say that every time they turn it on? Hey, let's play the tape of his parents. He loves that
Mm,
tape. Hey, by the way, half of it is broken. It's like it worked. Don't get me wrong, it was fine for the movie. I moved on. It was fine, but like if I'm being critical, super critical, because I don't have a lot of criticisms for this movie. Is my
mm,
thing. Just to get off the rip, I don't have a whole lot of criticisms, but so I got to kind of nitpick a little bit.
mm.
So I said that was a little bit of like funky exposition dumping. That was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, they did.
Um,
They left it very ambiguous, and I think sometimes when you are building a universe, you have to be ambiguous as to like how something gets there, right? And in this level of like, to my knowledge, I thought Superman had built those robots because he had taken like the technology from Krypton and then like built the robots. But he might not have. They might have
I
just
know,
existed.
I know. At the very least, they're making themselves at some point because that's why they introduce. Hey, Superman. By the way, this is number 12 or number
Mm,
4 or whatever it is. Because like at some point they're making themselves. How the first one or two came about, not sure, but that's fine. I don't even know how they came about either. It's just I just could feel a little bit of the exposition dumping because it's like they tell a lot of background information about like, oh, this is a message from his parents.
mm.
This is translation from it. It means this, and like why would you be explaining that to other robots, and why would you explain it to Superman because you play it for
Yeah.
Superman? That's my only thing. It's like why would you explain to other robots because there's no need for that. Hey, this is a brand new number 12. Let me explain to her what's going on. We're playing this video because it's like wouldn't you just program that into the bot anyway so that they know or
Yeah.
something? I don't know, but I mean it's fine. It was just a minor little thing, but
Yeah. And then we go from
but also just like some more in that opening scene that they like in a better like let me compare like compared to and also well this is kind of clunky as well because like they strap him up in the chair because he's all damaged. They get him in
mm,
the chair and they basically have like well if we'll give him some direct sunlight. The sunlight feeds us helps him heal and all this stuff. Again, why would you wouldn't really need to explain that? You just go ahead and do it and like we're taking to the healing chair or something like I don't know something like that.
well, I
But
think
like
it's. I will say it's good to explain that part because there's been a lot of comics that don't talk about like so what happened.
no, don't get me wrong. I get why they're doing it because that exposition is needed. It's just when you think about when you spend 2 seconds to think about it, it's like, well, that wouldn't really. Why would the robots be explaining it to themselves when they already know and Superman already knows? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
unless we're talking about
But
like talking to Crypto himself and just like, hey, Crypto,
yeah,
we're doing this.
it's for the audience. So it's literally just me nitpicking. But like,
Literally, here's a fix. They could have just had one of the robots hang out with Crypto and then explain to Crypto what's going on. But you would also have to assume that Crypto wasn't existing in that area.
yeah. And
But
also, why would they be talking to a dog?
maybe well, maybe like the robots
Let-
were trying to like because they don't understand the difference because they're just like
oh, that could work. That could
because they
work.
would
But I
feel
mean,
like Kryptonian blood and all that. But
but it's fine. But it kind of does, and it's fine because it also it sets up for payoff later, where it's like they show you he needs this, like using the sun's UV rays can help him heal. So
yeah,
it works. It's fine because it doesn't. It literally took. If you spend waste time thinking about it, you be like, what the fuck? But like outside of that, it's perfectly fine. But they show him healing. They have like a super like Loki reminded me of that ice ray from Batman and Robin,
mm,
the big ice machine thing or whatever. But like
yes,
it
ice
targets like
machine.
sunlights into him. It
Yeah,
recharges a little bit.
yeah,
There's a kind of a cool scheme where because he shows how painful it is for like the bones to kind of realign and stuff. Because they talk about that. Like
soundscapes.
they
Yeah,
talk about how he was literally this is the first fight he's lost where he literally was destroyed by this hammer of Baravia. Like this man destroys. And the thing I think about too is they talk about that fight was 3 hours.
yeah.
That's what they tell you in the opening scene. For 3 hours, he's been fighting with this power, this hammer Baravia dude. He's been whooping Superman's tail. Um, uh, but he heals. They show you like outside of the Fortress of Solitude. There's another villain. known as the engineer, who's trying to figure out like where Superman is.
Yeah.
He's like he's landed somewhere out here. I'm trying to figure out where he is. And she's talking. Did they show you that? I think they show you right off the rip that she's talking to
Was
Lex
she
and trying to
always
figure out.
the engineer, or was she the? Because I know that Lex basically in the comics that I remember had a cyborg like secretary.
That's not. That's not the. That's not Cyborg Secretary because the engineer is someone different.
Okay, because I know like that one of the things was that she was able to kind of like change her form to have like guns and stuff to protect Lex and be somewhat strong and like capable. So I was like, are they just doing that to? Because like, here's another spoiler: one of the other guys might become Bizarro. Um.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, that was bizarre.
Okay.
I don't care what they I think they called him Ultraman maybe for I don't know what reason. I don't know why they called him Ultraman because for those of y'all don't know, Ultraman is Superman from a different Earth where he's evil, where it's like an evil version, where it's
Mm,
like like where everything's kind of flipped, where the entire Justice League is like evil versions of themselves.
mm,
Like an evil Green Lantern called who has something called a power ring versus like a lantern ring. There's an evil Flash, there's an evil Wonder Woman, but anyway, and Ultraman is that version. Like I think he actually eats kryptonite in order to get powerful. Like that's the source of his power is like he eats
eats
up kryptonite
kryptonite
or
for
whatever.
breakfast.
Yeah. So like he gets to Earth, and he's like they try to use. I think someone tries to use kryptonite on him, and he's like, thanks for breakfast or whatever. That's not what he says, but anyway, but like that's what Ultraman is. So when they call the
One
bad.
of Ultraman's number one lines. Thanks for breakfast. They shoot at him. Thanks for breakfast.
So like, but like Ultraman is yeah, like he's an evil version of Superman from
Mm,
a different completely. So like the minute they said it was Ultraman, I mean, for me personally, I was like, that doesn't make much sense. Like,
mm,
are they? Why would they right off the back introduce alternate universes and stuff like that? And you find out in the movie they're like, because Bizarro is a clone, as a failed clone of Superman.
mm.
In this movie, Ultraman was a failed clone of Superman that was apparently too stupid to function on its own very properly. So like because you find out the Hammer Bravia is Ultraman, and Ultraman is more or less piloted by Lex. Because kind of going into like what you're talking about before, like because Lex in general, they don't necessarily directly establish that, but like in the comic lore, Lex is one of the smartest beings on Earth, or one of the smartest humans on
Yeah.
Earth. Like top five, you got Lex Luthor, Mister Terrific's one of them. Like I think top five, Mister Terrific, Lex Luthor, Batman. I
Amanda
don't know.
Waller, probably.
Who?
Well, and also intelligence has always been in any like show based off of what their area of expertise is. Because like Lex is very like universally like intelligent
Right. Lex
in
is
terms of
universally intelligent. Batman's considered universally intelligent.
yeah,
And there's few humans that are smarter than either Batman or Lex Luthor. So
yeah,
it's like, Mr. Terrific probably rounds out as like number five, just
yeah.
because for whatever reason they made it. But anyway,
And
um,
he was kind of very much a Lex guy who like built himself from the ground up and used his own like knowledge to build his technology. It's just
yeah.
Lex is willing to like do deals to make money, where it doesn't seem like Mr. Terrific is really
He doesn't care about any of that stuff. He just cares about how smart he
making
is.
drones, making
Yes.
drones, drone
But like,
striking.
and they set up that like Lex because they talk about because Lex has been watching Superman for the past 3 years, mapping out every single one of his moves, watching all of his fights, watching everything that goes down. So he's mapped out everything one of his moves, and he's smart enough to come up with a game plan to like figure out how to fight. Excuse me, how to fight Superman. So like you find out like he's got all these people on these keyboards or whatever like that are part of LexCorp. All these people on the keyboard that like he'll yell out a move like A7, B5, C6, and it's like they plug it into a computer. It gets I guess it gets they don't go to the specifics. I guess it gets beamed into Ultraman's mind or whatever or
Yeah.
ear. I don't know if he memorizes. I don't know how
No,
they don't go to
so
specifics.
like Lex knows all this stuff. Everyone kind of knows that Lex knows everything. And the thing
Yeah.
that's annoying, and this is actually one of my problems with the thing because of how I view Lex versus how James Gunn is portraying Lex Luthor. First off, Lex Luthor to me is an intelligent guy who doesn't play games. Like he's not like he lives his life. I do this. Like he's like the Batman, but he's evil. He he lives his life managing his company, but he hates Superman and wants him to die. but he won't let everybody know that he's trying to kill Superman. Whereas in this version, he has a lot of people that like he's dating a girl who is obviously not paying attention to like being discreet. And I'm just sitting there going like, Lex, what the hell? And I started to realize that Lex felt like he was less a character from DC, but more of like a Lex Luthor interpretation of like a modern tech guy, like a Elon Musk or something. Where he's like this, like no, because like even like the way that he like operates his guy, like his clone Superman, is video game status of him being kind of like this like child because Lex imprisons people that he doesn't like, right? And he puts them into a
Yeah,
pocket dimension. He
yeah,
risks a lot of things for no reason while steaming mad about Superman. Like there's a lot of things that Lex is doing that's very childish. And I guess like my the people like the Lex Luthor I think of is like the one from um Unlimited.
like limited, or
Yeah,
like the this animated Superman TV show, which is fair. That's
yeah,
fair. I think it depends because I think there's times where like there's point times where like Lex is literally the leader of the Legion of Doom. So it's
yeah.
like you know what I'm saying like there's sometimes where they write him where he's like he's but there's also been storylines where like Lex is president of United States where he becomes
Yeah.
president. So it's like it just ranges on what kind of Lex you want to use. But at the end of the day, I think they got his core right, which is he hates
Yeah.
Superman,
And
which
he
I think
hates
is
him for the basic reason that Superman's existence makes Lex Luthor feel less than he feels because he's an extreme
right,
narcissist, which is
which I
hilarious.
love.
Yeah,
I really loved Nicholas Holtz. I love his portrayal of it.
yeah.
I loved especially that line, like the line where he says, "I didn't make the conflict in Bravia." No, what did he say? It
I
was
didn't orchestrate the conflict in Moravia so that I could go and take half of that land. I did it so that I could go and have
oh no
justification
no
to
no
kill
no. It
Superman.
was I didn't try to stop you to be able to do I was my plan to Bravia. I created a Bravia conflict so I can kill you, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
That's like sorry. He's like, I know. He's literally like, I know I'm envious. I know that. I don't care, bro. I do not
yeah,
care. I'm
yeah,
here to kill you.
yes.
Not for you, Superman.
And
What are
and
you doing?
he
This alien.
and though I have beef with Lex having so many people on his roster that are all just kind of like, oh yes, yes sir, Mr. Luthor, let's kill Superman. For me, I'm
Oh,
kind of like,
he's always LexCorp has always had its like thing because like it's not that he's doing like even when you think of LexCorp in general, he's not the one running around doing all that stuff. He's got people on the payroll that he's like paying to do stuff. And sometimes he's teamed up with the guy who created OMAC.
oh,
I can't think of it, but OMAC is
also
like
Amazo. He paid for Amazo.
Amazo, right? Yeah. He teamed up with him in order to get the Amazo technology. So, like he's gone on
He goes out
he's
of
always
his
been ahead of
way to,
LexCorp does what LexCorp does. You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay, I get you on that. And I will say that this portrayal of a villain being so frustratingly willing to create problems for a person, they like to be so selfish to just go
Yeah,
and to then like
I
the
do not
amount
get.
of layers to how much you should dislike Lex Luthor is
Oh, it's great.
amazing. Oh, dude,
It's
I was sitting there going like, "Fucking Superman, just kill him, Superman,
yeah.
please kill him." And then, but you realize like that's how much, and that made me like Superman because I realized that Superman could have killed Lex any point, but he still chooses not to. And it's like, and you see how many like the lengths that Lex was willing to go to, the torture, the using children as hostages, killing people that had nothing to do with it,
Oh,
threatening
okay,
kill.
yeah. 'Cause let's dig back into the plot a little bit and kind of cut along to get to there. Because like I love a lot. I did. Yeah, there's stuff I want to talk about with that too. So like, yeah, he cut past. He's like piloting the Hammer Bravia to basically whoop Superman's tail.
Yeah,
Homegirl, the engineer, finds out Which I thought this was, I actually, I did not catch, because like she finds out where the Force of Solitude is, right? And she kind of like, as it's going back into the ice, she kind of she finds out exactly where it is. And she's like, "Hey Lex, like let me drill into this and get in here. I can get in here just fine." And Lex like has a little throwaway line. He's like, "No, no, because we're gonna need more than just you to get when we get there, or whatever, right? We're
Hmm.
gonna need more than just you." And I take that as like, okay, yeah, they're gonna need, they don't know what's in there. They're gonna need the whole army to go in there just because they have no idea what threats are living there. No, that's not what he meant at all. He just meant we need somebody to get the door open. And that somebody is Ultraman. And I was like,
Hmm.
it didn't click to me until way, way later. I didn't think of it
Yeah.
at all. I just
I mean,
it's little
honestly,
things like
they
that.
portray Lex as the one who somehow is able to go and open the door by himself because he's
That's
in the
just
middle.
the thing is, I didn't even blink when the door when they because when they go there because they go there at one point later. They figure out where it is. It comes out of the ground just magically, and then
Yep.
Lex. I was like, huh. You know what? If anybody would be able to figure out a way to get in there, it would be Lex. He
Yeah.
probably figured out some crazy way to get in there. Cool, and I moved on with it, and I completely forgot. Like, oh yeah, you would need Superman's DNA. This is this. They already said this is Ultraman. I don't know why it didn't click in my
Yeah.
head that like,
Well, they probably just
oh
realized
okay,
that it's actually Lex, Superman. So they were just like, "Oh, Superman's here."
yeah.
Because there's I
They're like, oh
noticed
wait,
that.
the door's open. Superman must be here. They said there's a robot start turn on talking to him. And they're like,
Yeah.
you're not Superman.
Yeah.
But like, they also and then they cut to after because Superman gets his tail whipped in the fight. There's like
Yeah.
a lone falafel man that like he gave him a falafel one time that
Yeah.
Superman talks to, and they clock him. See, I missed this on the first watch because they clocked that guy that's talking to Superman real close and personal, and then he says. That we got the engineer, and meanwhile he's talking to the engineer, which is the girl that's out in Antarctica. I thought the first because I watched it twice. First time I watched it regular, second time I watched it in 4DX, which highly recommend. That 4DX ride was legit. Um, and 4DX, for anyone that doesn't know, 4DX is when the seats are rocking back and forth. They got like wind blowing in your face, water splashing in your face, lights are flashing, all this kind of stuff. It's like a ride in a roller coaster. Or I watched the movie, but anyway, on second watch, I realized because
And they
I thought he
actually
was some kind of
suffocate
stuff
you when the
in the air.
nanomachines go into fucking Superman's mouth, so no one's allowed to breathe. It's like, hold your breath. Let's see if you can survive as long as Superman did.
We're taking all the air out of the room. See how long you can survive.
That would be crazy. That's
Yeah.
40x XXR or something like just like dangerous. Be careful.
But they clocked that guy because that's setting up something for later.
Mm.
'Cause I thought it was maybe because I thought at first I thought he was like an engineer and that's why they clocked him and they're gonna like kidnap him later for something. No, 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 not at all. It's just some random guy that's kind of hanging out there chilling, and they clock him as somebody with a relationship with Superman because they use that later. Because like I said, Lex is the smartest person alive. He's clocking everybody that Superman's talking to, having all these interactions with, in case he needs it for later. Who knows?
Well, he also
Um,
assumes that like Superman's getting assistance from other people,
right,
which
right,
is the
right,
main
right, right.
thing that like he like his what's the word for being like conspiratorial? But like his mania or like I don't know the proper word for it.
Yes,
People in the comments can leave it. The word I'm thinking of. But yeah, no, like Lex is definitely like oh he's paranoid. He's very
yeah,
paranoid of the fact that like Superman might not be the only person. There's other people that might be assisting him, and if they're assisting him, they're willing to support him, and I don't like that because he definitely
yeah,
shows that he's like has this level of wanting to like control everything. And he doesn't
yeah.
care about the world because as we see at the end, he was definitely willing to like let some things right out that should not have been written. Um, but so we go from there. I don't think they showcase like he gets his butt beat, and then the Hammer Bavaria leaves, and
It's
then it
out.
just
Yeah.
yeah, and then just kind of show like sad Superman of just like
They show him like trying to get back up, and then like the guy, like one guy's like holding him back, and then he's like he's too weak to do it anyway because he didn't fully recover. He recovered, but he still didn't. He was like I think they said he was like 87% something like that. So he hadn't fully recovered. But he's like I got to get back to the fight. Doesn't matter.
yeah,
I just got to get back. Um, so then after that, they just cut to the Daily Planet scene. I believe they
yeah,
go right
it
from
goes right
that.
to Daily Planet, and I do love the fact that it goes Daily Planet, and it kind of shows a more fun version of what the Daily Planet should be, which is a whole bunch of wild characters that exist in a news area that like it's not like Spider-Man newspaper where it's just like J. Jonah Jameson being like the wild guy and everyone else living in New York dealing with like bills, like the one
Yeah,
guy smoking a cigar going like, I need more pictures of Spider-Man. And then like everyone else is just like, dude, I gotta pay my rent and this guy doesn't pay me anything. These are like uh
they're all characters more or
yeah, they're
less.
all they're all characters, they're all
Which
weird, they're all interesting. Jimmy
That
was my
was
favorite. What was it Jimmy? Jimmy Olsen? Jimmy
Jimmy
Olsen
Olsen.
was
Yeah,
awesome.
they made him a ladies' man, which I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
don't know where it came from because I don't know if he's I don't think they've ever really done like that in the comics, but it's a fun little thing they could throw in there. Um,
They're
then
probably
you
gonna
got
lead
like
into it, like him messing with Kara.
yeah, and Skylar Gazando because that's the guy that plays Jimmy Olsen.
Mm,
I've seen him in a couple other things. I can't think of what I've seen him in, but things I've seen him in, I have appreciated him. I think he did fine.
mm,
They might be doing like a spinoff show with him and Mr. Terrific, maybe.
yeah.
Don't know. They've been tossing that idea around. But like the other guy, because the guy from SNL, I was
Yeah.
torn on. I felt like he was too much, but it was fine because that's the one thing that James Gunn said as well. Like we're making this a comic book movie. It's going to be goofy, really goofy at times.
Yeah.
And that guy was a bit over the top. He was like, "Oh, Clark, man," but
He's funny in the realm that like there's like so he did these skits on SNL where he was constantly going like um he would just like act like he was not a baby. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
yeah,
oh, I'm a big boy. I can do all this and like these like
yeah,
way like the wild overreactions and almost like him playing a character and like truly embodying what a goofy character would be.
yeah,
Like I felt like fit because it is like this like guy who thinks he's cool but he's really lame and annoying being in like your
yeah,
job and you're just like, dude, like this is the guy that like thought he was cool in school and now you have to deal with him. You're like,
exactly.
and everyone kind
That's
of
key to those characters. Like the football player jock that like didn't do much after the fact, and like now he thinks he's big and cool, and he's
yeah.
just
He wasn't
he's
even the star
braggadocious.
quarterback. He was just like
And the
a
thing is,
guy who
he
played
didn't
kicker.
have that many. Yeah, the thing is, he didn't even have that many lines in the movie, but like he nailed that kind of character impression, or you get a real good strong sense of his character right out the back when the
Yeah.
couple lines that he has, which I was fine with. It was fine. Um, I think the guy Wendell Pierce, he's the one that did Perry. He was dope.
Yeah.
He did this big old cigar he had hanging out his mouth half the time.
How'd you feel
It was
about
great. Like
Lois?
I like their chemistry a lot. I do like the chemistry between her and Cornswell, which what's her name? Rachel Brosnan
Mm.
and David Corn. I did like their chemistry. I did like her. She did a lot in this movie as opposed to portrayals we've seen a lot of Lois without doing too like she was doing her reporter thing. She's like, let me
Yeah.
dig and try to find the story. Let me try to figure out what's going on with Superman. They did a lot of that, which I thought was nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it at all.
It's hard for me to okay. There's this thing that has happened in like old school comic books and like what you want from a character back then and what you want from a character today are kind of different, you know? Especially like the way
Mhm,
that women characters, female characters are portrayed. Um
mhm.
Lois Lane has always been kind of like a strong female character in terms of like she's pretty competent by herself. She's someone
Yeah.
who is trying to go and figure out scoops and doing all that stuff. She does assume, like, she does acknowledge that she is attractive, but she doesn't let that attractiveness go to her head, and she more utilizes it to benefit the fact that cares about her career and her job. She's very goal
Mhm.
oriented, and so they kind of capture a lot of the like especially from like them being like an early dating couple kind of thing of her just kind
Yeah,
of showing Clark that like I'm not just a pretty face. If I need
yeah.
to ask you questions, I'm gonna make it so it's gonna suck. And you're not gonna
I'm
like
gonna do my
you're not
job.
gonna yeah. And she
I'm
did
here
a
to do.
great job on that realm. The problem is I've never liked Lois as a character because for me there's like this level of you know what it is. I'm gonna say it like this. There's
You like
times
strong, independent women?
no, it's not even that. It's I can't
I'm
relate
surprised.
to her. Like, I literally can't relate to Lois. Like, there's an anime called Dandadan where the main two characters is like this boy and this girl, but the girl's kind of the focus, and she is fantastic because she's like, I like guys that act like this. I believe in this. I have a grandmother that does this. Like, you kind of get to know her backstory and
Mhm.
empathize with why she became the way she is, right? And the same
Yeah.
thing with like Clark Kent, you get to go and see like he is like this dude from the South or like the
That's
country farm area. But then you meet Lois, and people just tell you what she is. Oh, she is a girl that likes punk music and she doesn't trust people and blah 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 blah. But you like, what does she like to eat? She like they like he was like, oh, you like eating like you like eating things for breakfast, right? But they don't really like talk to about like what her preferences are. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Yeah,
nothing, there's no like what's her, does she have parents? Does she even know that she has parents? You know, like there's things that like Lois I didn't catch, and I didn't feel like Lois was more like she almost felt like she existed to react to other people and then to be annoyed at the fact that these like superheroes or supervillains or people in general that she has to deal with are dumb or weird or
I mean,
goofy.
to be fair, other than Superman, like who else do you know really much of their backstory in this movie?
I mean, you get to tell that like Jimmy is a player. He had like a lot of girls on his phone very
Yeah.
quickly. You can tell that he is very respectful to like he's friends with Superman. He's cool with Lois. He actually is pivotal to the actual like newspaper, so he's not just a random guy. Um, and then he also shows this like level of like even though these beautiful women are throwing themselves at him, he's not really like he doesn't give a like he doesn't really care. He has like his own preferences and things. But it
I
like
disagree
but it's like these
because
weird.
I feel like go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. If you disagree,
Well, I mean, I was gonna say because like I mean, he's got a girl in his phone labeled as mutant toes.
yeah, but it's him basically saying like she has weird feet, and like that might be the thing
Yeah,
that
I feel
like
like that's not
they.
necessarily respectful.
No, no, it's not respectful, but like the way he goes about like hey man, you should go and like not be with Lex because that's actually a problem.
That's only because he needed information out of her.
Yeah, but I think he also was literally just like
Otherwise, he
Lex is
wouldn't
kind
care
of like
about.
like if Lex is a bad dude, like get the fuck away from him. Like he is kind of bad. But it also like but it's like one of those things where you can kind of you feel like Jimmy is this character. You know what I'm saying? Like I never like questioned.
What do you know about Jimmy's parents?
We don't know much, but we know about like his preference in at least women, right? Because you like start to
Yeah.
know that like he judges a girl by her feet. Like that's
But like
that's
to be fair, we know about Wonder Woman. We know about how Wonder not Wonder Woman,
Lois.
how Lois Lane, how Lois like
Wonder
has
Woman.
been really unsure about her dating history. Like she's not good with relationships because she's
Yeah,
probably focusing on her job,
but they don't
and she's
talk
like,
about the fact that like okay, like if you tell me I am not good in relationships, talk about a time where she had an ex-boyfriend, make a ex-boyfriend appear. Like the problem is that they're not showing us anything about Lois outside of the fact that she's extremely capable, which shout out to her. She's able to
yeah,
like really have Clark's back. She's super sympathetic and she is someone that honestly you should fall in love with because when she knows that Clark is going through stuff and even though he's living these two lives and even though she doesn't feel comfortable with the situation that she's now in of this like Superman Clark Kent that she loves like this guy but she doesn't even know if she loves him and she's still dealing with her career and he inherently because they don't know anything about him and they haven't established Superman as if he's a positive or a negative there is that level of like confliction of like she is doing the thing that she hates which is hiding the truth from people because she is looking for the truth she doesn't trust anybody so I do like that but I just wish that like she didn't come off as so generic woman character at times like give me like a fun quirk. Like they did like they try to do with the music, right? Where like they're having like the music back up and it's like not but like actual punk music and he's like, oh what you don't like the Mud Crabs or whatever.
that was more about digging into Clark. That wasn't really supposed to be about her. It was supposed to be about like
But that's
Clark
the
being
thing.
like, oh, well,
Like
yeah,
like
but I mean, but the movie's also Superman, not Lois Lane. You know what I mean?
yeah, but like there's so much about like Lois exists for so long that it's like I would just like to have known, you know, what's her favorite color. Like give me something that I can attribute her as a character that makes her doesn't seem like an archetypal character. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
like Superman like needing to like calm down by seeing videos of his
Well,
mom
she
and
likes a lot
dad.
of sugar in her coffee. She loves sugar in her coffee.
That actually was a thing that was interesting, but it came so late. It was like one of those things where like, oh, what are you doing? It's like I need a lot of sugar because I'm not. This ain't my first rodeo. I like to party hard or something, which is cool. Like it's like these like little cool moments of Lois just kind of being like, yo, I used to live a different lifestyle kind of thing. Like I like punk rock music. I like to party hard. I'm very career oriented, but back in the day I used to get wild. Like these are cool things about her. It's just I feel like I feel like everyone got the James Gunn treatment of like making these characters fun and goofy and quirky, but Lois Lane felt very much like the Lois Lane of old, and I guess I was a little disappointed personally because I was looking for something like crazy interesting, and it just like the only thing that like, and maybe it's just like based off of what she was able to do and versus what I don't know. Like you know what? I'm gonna let myself digest this part because
Yeah, because I say respectfully, I disagree. I think they did enough with her to like. I think showing the fact that she is goal oriented, she's focused on getting the scoops here and there. Like she's very independent, she's very strong. She's struggled with relationships most likely because of that, because she's always putting her career first. Even like she's talking about like they're like, oh yeah, how's that thing's going? How's things going with that new guy? She's like, I mean, it's going fine. I'm probably about to break up with him because it's not going that great or whatever it was that they went
yeah,
through. Like it, I don't know. I think they did enough what they needed to do. I think if you dug way into her backstory per se, and you're kind of taken away from the central narrative of Superman,
yeah. And
which
I
for me
mean,
that they
honestly,
could.
this movie juggles so much that it's not fair to
Yeah,
say.
there's a lot of ground that they got to cover, a lot of other things that they got to focus on. They give you enough to know what her personality is, um, without having to dig in too much into her backstory. Because like I said, because I feel like they don't really dig into anybody too much of anybody's backstory except for Clark. Clark is the main one
Yeah,
that they show you his roots. They go back to his childhood home when his parent even when his parents call. Because that's one thing Camille will talk about too. Because I had at first. I was torn on his parents because the first time you hear him, they call him when he's walking into the newspaper, and they have a real country hick accent to let you know this guy's from the country.
yeah.
This Superman is not
You
from.
didn't get you didn't realize it when she started to like yell into her phone because and she had the
She
phone
was
on the
yelling into
ground.
the phone. And I was gonna say it was a screen. It was like no, she was
Yeah,
speaker
she
calling.
was literally like
It
the
was like
phone's right here.
Mark,
It's just the phone there's like Clark. Can one time I said, it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's
Paul said come around sometime, and I was like
I
yo.
do think that was a little too much because I
That's
do
the thing.
like
Go ahead.
sorry, I like the fact that like Ma Clint and Pa Clint, Kent, I said Clint. Well, um, there's a certain level of like wisdom and like not tropey, like hey, we're on the farm, but we also like have this like level of like love, respectful wisdom, but they don't have to like talk in like southern accents, especially because
But I mean,
Metropolis
if
would
you're
have
from the
been
country,
like, hmm?
that's the thing. If you're from the country, you're from the country.
Yeah, but like there's people who like exist. Like there's a difference. Like there's difference in accents between like a Texas accent versus like a Montana accent or like a North Carolina accent or a South Carolina. Like there's certain and there's different dialects depending on which part of town you're from. And there's
Yeah,
definitely people who have been farmers that can also just be like, yeah, we're gonna have to go onto the ranch and do this. Like you can
that's the
just
thing. Smallville is from the country.
yeah, and like it's a weird take, but I think that
It's just
it's
that
all
we haven't gotten a
saved.
portrayal. You haven't gotten a portrayal like that. But like Smallville's
Yeah.
supposed to be from uh the bumfuck country.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
supposed to be out there in the backwoods. That's why you supposed. It kind of tells you that Superman was grown out there in them fields. Like he
Hmm.
was out there
Did they
baling
ever did
hay.
they ever like write in the comics like slang?
They got no neighbors. Like
Oh,
this is
okay.
country,
This
country,
is like hillbilly country, but not hillbilly.
hillbilly hit country.
Hick, maybe
He
hick.
was
Yeah.
born. He was born on collard greens
He was
and
born in Smallville Metropolis. I don't even know.
and
I
that's the
don't
thing.
even know.
That's part of why when she talks about, oh, I like this group and there's like punk rock. It's like, probably because the real punk rock didn't come out to the country like that. And he had these little hick things. They didn't get that stuff because about the country. I don't know, but
Also,
like
it would
I
depend on what he was allowed to watch when he was a kid.
yeah, but I was torn on that at first because my feeling was maybe to have gotten better actors and if you were gonna do a little bit more, like when they actually go back to his home,
Mm.
because at first I thought it was funny. I thought it was like a little nice little throwaway. It was fine. And when he got back to his home, at first I was kind of torn because I was like, they maybe should have gotten better actors. Until the dad has that speech with him where he's like,
Yeah,
I'm even proud of you, boy. Like
yeah.
nothing making me proud. It was dope. It was really good because
So you gotta be careful with that, the way you're saying that, because it sounds like the old Southern,
that's how they talk about the
oh no
country.
no no,
No, no,
like
oh yeah, I know.
sinners, like old Southern. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
hey boy. Yeah,
hey,
no,
massa. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be careful.
yeah, but
Okay,
but
I
yeah,
would
no, it
love
was
if Superman's parents were like that. His adopted parents were like black Southern people. Because technically
You know,
speaking,
there is a
it
story. There's
wouldn't
a
really
story.
change. Oh wait, go ahead, go ahead.
There's a story. What is it? Gods and Monsters, Monsters and Gods, something like that, where Superman crash lands out in the country, but he gets picked up by a migrant farmer. So like he grows up and he's like half Hispanic,
Oh, that's terrible.
low key,
I mean,
and it's like, but like you also find out like his parents wasn't his dad wasn't Jor-El. His dad was actually Zod.
Jerome.
Zod was like his
Oh,
dad, so he has this like this part of his nature is like this like conquerous like
Jesus.
yeah, yeah. So that's another interesting
Why would they?
storyline.
They've already. It's like sometimes I always get annoyed about comics when they do this, where they go and take the novelty of an idea and they go, yes, but what if we add this as well? It's like, well, now we've done too much because now we can't explore this novelty of this idea, and now we got to deal with
Yeah.
the fact that like also he's part dark side and he's also part this,
But
and you're like,
to be
fuck.
fair, they dig into it a little bit more because with him being a migrant farmer, he has a little bit less like he's seen a little bit of a harder life in the way way people were
Mm,
treated based on their differences or whatever, and they kind of dig into that a little bit. And then you tie in the fact that he's got like this Zod blood in him, so he's a little bit angrier than like the general Superman. I guess I don't know. That's what I guess that's what we're trying to say. I haven't gotten into that one in a while. So my memory, I could be wrong. I could be saying some wrong stuff, but
but it's interesting.
but
It's a
yeah,
different level and different style, and I think that I mean I'm being swayed by your opinion on this. Is that there's like it's a good choice when the payoffs hit, when you
yeah.
start to like see these characters like that you even like as the viewer you assume are kind of goofy, and then you get to see them say these things that make you go like, oh, and you know what, it works because there's a point where Superman is valuing his parents, that because he goes from like realizing that like growing up thinking that his parents were his parents to then realizing he was adopted, and so you kind of see this like in the time of like him seeing that he hasn't been checking out with his parents because he misses his superhero parents, the Kryptonians, and then you slowly realize that like the people that raised him are the ones that matter, and that's the ones that he really values their opinion on, and it helps him become back to like go back to his
Oh,
roots.
yeah, we really kind of got off the fire
I mean, if we were
because
to go
like
and break down this whole movie, it's 3 hours. It's a 3 hour
that's
review.
true, that's true.
Because I mean, like, let's
But
be
like
honest. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's a couple things I do want to touch on is the fact that this Superman because it's what's different from I guess some of the other. I'm not trying to bring in hate from some of those other guys,
You're good.
from those who shall not be named.
Oh, wait, Henry Cavill.
Um, the Snyder cultists
Oh yeah. Oof.
that like that have been review bombing this movie since before it even came out. But
Oh
anyway, but no, like
Jesus.
one thing that's like, been different from like that aspect of it is you get this more joyous Superman. And some of the complaints I've seen online that people talked about is actually, no, I'll get into that a little bit later. But like the Superman cares about all living things essentially. Like there's a point where while like when Lex is breaking into the Fortress of Solitude, they release like a kaiju that like grows to the size of
Yeah.
a giant kaiju to like distract him or whatever, and you see him fighting it, and it's like. Yeah, he's getting kind of punched around because one of the complaints I've seen people talk about is like, oh, he loses the whole movie. Like when he's fighting the guy, the hammer, the hammer Raven is whooping his tail. Slash Ultraman's whooping his tail later, and the kaiju's kind of whooping his tail a little bit. But like you realize it's because when he's fighting the kaiju, he says like because what happens? He's fighting the kaiju. So he's spending half of his time going around and saving different people that are getting
Squirrels.
close to getting smashed by his feet. He's going around saving squirrels. Like the kaiju's about to fall back on a building. You see him like rush around and try to stop it from smashing the building because there's people inside. And then like it blows fire in his face and he checks on the people behind. Like he's spending half of his energy first of all checking about all living things that are around in the area and even
Yeah.
buildings and stuff as he's trying to do all that. And then because what happens is the Justice Gang show. This is when the Justice Gang shows up. Is where you get Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific show up, and like they're like Mr. Terrific asks him, he's like, "Yo, what's the weaknesses, or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, his skin's pretty tough, but like I'm trying to figure out a way to take it down without actually hurting it, so we can bring it in to like either a zoo or like do some research on him. Or I'm trying to figure out a way to take this thing down subtly. So that's why he's getting his tail whooped, because like he's trying to find a way to not hurt this thing too much, which
Yeah.
is like quintessential Superman. That's one like I know I complain about because that's the thing. I kind of misspoke about the complaint I had for Superman because the complaint I had about Superman earlier, way back when before my younger days, is like Superman would get his tail whooped for like a lot of the movies, a lot of the shows. You see him get his tail whooped, and also not nowhere he just turns it on, and destroys whoever he's fighting with. But
Yeah,
like that's more of Superman just gauging the power of who he's fighting with, seeing how hard he has to go without going overdoing it. It's like,
yeah.
which is what he's doing. He's figuring out what this monster can take without doing too much. Because he probably if he wanted to, he probably could have handled that kaiju with ease. But he's
He would
trying
have
not
just
to hurt
laser
him.
beamed him. Like if we've
Yeah,
watched any of the evil versions of Superman, Homelander, freaking the Brightburn, like all they do is just go like laser eye beams. I burn you a hole
yeah,
through your head, and now we continue on to the next person. And
yeah,
it's cool. Like Superman does do these things where it's like he makes you understand and appreciate that he's making his own job harder because he's living off of the moral guidelines that he has.
yeah.
Where
And
like
it's
like
funny because even little things that they do, they have little throwaway lines like earlier in the Force Odyssey when like Crypto's like messing with, he's like, "Hey, Crypto, what the hey, bro?" And it's like the
yeah
man doesn't even cuss. Which
yeah
is there's a decent amount of cussing in this movie, but like Superman doesn't cuss.
no
Like he's a jollier, happier thing than the moody, which I loved.
yeah
Man of Steel. I loved. I actually liked a lot of the Snyder movies, like
shut
the
down yeah
I did like the 4 hour uncut one. I did really appreciate it.
yeah I remember
Justice League, but it was fun seeing this Superman told in this way in this much lighter, brighter light.
yeah.
Um,
And then this is
like
like your first
even when
introduction.
the Justice came,
Oh, this is like your first introduction to, or like, is there like first introduction to like James Gunn's depiction of other superheroes? Because you
yeah,
know that he's like
oh yeah,
focusing in, but then you get Mister Terrific, who I've
yeah.
never really seen in any capacity. So this is like my first
I seen him
introduction
here
to
and there.
him.
They had him on Arrow, which I watched a lot, and his portrayal on Arrow was fine. It was. I mean, there's a couple things that that was a problem with Arrow's writing around the time that he came on board, but like I thought it was fine. But like I loved this version of Mr. Terrific, and
Yeah,
the guy that played him. I don't know if you recognize him, but the guy that played him is the guy that played
why he look?
Darwin in X-Men First Class,
Yes,
Eddie
yeah,
Gathegi.
yeah, the guy who
And I was,
got
and
killed and everyone was mad
they
about
did
it.
him dirty. They did him dirty in that movie,
Yeah,
bro. Like that,
the only time
Darwin's
movies
whole
kill the black guy first again in like a modern movie.
right. And the thing is, Darwin's power is literally survival. Like
Yeah.
literally, he survives anything.
And they kill
This
him, and they're
is
like, survive that, and it's just like, what? He
and
didn't
it's
do
like
nothing.
boy, he put like a bomb down his throat, and like he would have
Yeah,
morphed to absorb it or morphed to like be resistant or whatever.
become a
And they
bomb.
killed him off. Really, they told him that they were gonna bring back in a later movie, but they never brought him back. But like literally, like in the comics, there's one storyline where like he's fighting against Hulk. And I think this was the World War Hulk. No, this is World Breaker Hulk. I think when he came back from Planet Earth from Planet
Mm.
Hulk, and he was pissed off that they sent him away, and he was smashing everything. And like I think, and Darwin like came in contact with him, and literally he just teleported away. Like
Mm.
he was like, I can't. This Hulk is so powerful. Hulk tried to punch him. He just teleported to another place. Like like that's his power is
His
literally
power's like,
surviving
just
in.
get out of here.
Bro, I was like, this Hulk is so powerful, bro. The best way to survive this is to teleport to another planet. I think he teleports like the moon or something. Like I can't remember
Oh, that's
specifically.
cool.
He teleported somewhere else.
That's awesome.
But
And I mean, honestly, like, so the Mister Terrific portrayal,
I love this terrific. I love
he
this terrific,
he had
bro.
so many great scenes, and it's kind of frustrating because I think Guy Gardner did a really good job as Green Lantern. There's a lot of cool stuff with him. Uh, were there deleted scenes for Hawkgirl because there was
That's
nothing.
yeah. That is my beef. I wish there was more Hot Girl. I do wish there was more.
Yeah, they made
She was.
her. Well, you said she was great.
I thought what they had in there. So what I saw of her, I loved, and I wanted more.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why they didn't even pretend that they were going to like try to do anything. They were just like, no, she's here, but not really. Like, we're not. We have nothing for a, another character that like would be interesting to go into. And I think honestly, it's probably because they're just gonna wait until later on and then kind of develop her as a character. But
Yeah.
so she did kill that dude, maybe perhaps.
Yeah, which I loved because again,
Yeah,
like what you're saying about Wonder Woman, Hot Girl, because I think this is supposed to be Shira, who is a warrior, like
it's
warrior princess.
not.
After
It's
it's not Shira.
so I think they casted her as a version of Hawkgirl. So my brother was reading this when he was going back, and I'm not sure if he just got it wrong, but basically it's supposed to be a girl called like Kendra Ford or something.
Oh, it's Kendra.
But
Oh.
so the thing is that the idea is that Kendra, it's Kendra Ford's
Oh.
body with Shira's soul in it or something like Shira's soul goes into or whatever, something like that. It's something weird. Because there is like a hot girl version of something. They're gonna go and probably get into it once now that they established Superman as a character. Um,
Yeah.
they also got the was the guy who like is the Element Man or something, the multiple elements.
Um,
The guy who can change into
it,
other
it,
stuff.
is, it is supposed to be Kendra Saunders. That is
Yeah,
interesting. Because
which is
that
it's
felt more like Shira,
yeah
but fair. Okay.
yeah. So honestly, like I'm interested to see where they go with that. Which is cool. Like goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Um,
Apparently she's going to be in Peacemaker. So we'll get to see more of her there.
uh,
That's the thing. I
flying
think the
people
Justice
and
Justice Gang, because this is the thing. They show you the Justice Gang is being funded by Maxwell Lord, who
yeah,
oh man, that's gonna be interesting.
because he's supposed to
Maxwell
be a
Lord's being
bad.
played by Dick brother. But like, because Maxwell, I don't know too much about Maxwell Lord other than like, because the main story I know him from is whatever came right before Final Crisis, where like he had gotten control of the OMAC machines or the
Mm,
Amazos, and brother he had somehow gotten Brother Eye from Batman, which is like the supercomputer track. He was using to track down metahumans and was killing
mm,
metahumans like all over. And Wonder Woman had a snack. Well, it was all an orchestrated plan by him, but Wonder Woman snapped his neck on national television
mm.
and caused everybody to hate superheroes.
Because
But
Maxwell
like
Ford is one of Wonder Woman's main villains.
yeah, like I think she was actually in that last Wonder Woman movie they did. That was Maxwell Lord, I think was the villain they used in that. So it's like, but like he is like a millionaire or billionaire hater as well,
Yeah,
certified hater. Like he usually, I think there's been a couple instances where he started I think it was Justice League International was the one that he started, um, but like or helped start or whatever, helped
mm.
fund or whatever it was that he did. So there's stories comic book like basis for him to be involved in the initiation of a justice group.
Jesus.
um, but like he's the one that's running, that's basically funding the Justice Gang. Apparently, they're going to be in Peacemaker season 2. All like the whole Justice Gang as well. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if Metamorpho because we haven't talked about Metamorpho, bro. Um, but
The whole
anyway,
series, the whole scene with Metamorpho, I do kind of like that they're doing If they're bringing Metamorpho in, right?
yeah.
They're essentially he's resetting what Justice League would be, to my knowledge.
It,
Um,
it Yeah. It just
be,
depends. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be Justice League. If this is gonna end up being Justice League, that's the thing. I don't know if it's just gonna be some because there's so many different. There's Justice Society, Justice League International, which because in Justice League International, I think was Hawkman, which they could. I think Hawker's been in sometimes.
yeah.
I think I don't remember which Green Lantern. I don't know, but like I don't know if this is gonna flesh out to be Justice League, which I don't know. I just have so many questions on top of that too, because
Yeah.
like when they were in the Justice Hall, I because on my second viewing, I got some time to look around and stuff on the mural in the background of the wall. Like I saw what I'm pretty sure was Green Martians or Martian Manhunter's lower body.
Mm,
Like I saw like a green leg and like it looked like maybe it was a suit because it wasn't very clear. It was kind of blurred, like zoomed out. It
mm.
wasn't the focus of what was in the screen. But like I'm like okay, well, I don't know. I have so many questions about what's going to go forward in
Yeah,
this
apparently there
world.
was a
I'm
Gotham
excited.
thing as well. So like there's definitely like these like levels of cameos that when we like if someone's able to go and rewatch, slow it down, see some of this stuff and go like, "Oh wait, maybe they're cuz like
Yeah.
I'll find out there's a freeze frame of just like the Flash walking around or something." It'd be
If you,
crazy.
if you pause it right a second, you see the flash like in freeze frame, just
Yeah.
about to run by.
Actually
That
that
would
would
be
be
if they were doing stuff like that.
I
Oh
would change
man.
that movie become a 10 out of 10 just for that. That would literally just be a 10 out of 10 because it's just like, all right, they really went deep cut on this. Um,
Speaking of Metamorpho, because like basically, oh, because we ain't talking about
did
it
you
in the
know about the
beginning. This
demon
whole,
that was like traveling with
yeah,
Lex?
that was Mister. Wait a second.
Was it Mr. No Eyes?
Mister. No. Mister Handsome.
Mm,
Mister Handsome. I think that was another failed Superman clone thing going on. I think in the
mm,
comics, I think I don't know much about Mister Handsome, but I did look it up at one point, and I can't remember if it was a failed experiment or a failed Superman clone in the comics or not. But in this movie, I think it was supposed to be another failed Superman thing or something like that. But there's a Mr. Handsome in the comics that is like a creation by Lex. I think I just don't know
Mhm.
whether or not it's a Superman thing or not. But it's a creation by Lex,
He definitely looks like he has the powers of
like an
portals or
alien.
something. Because
Oh
no,
yes,
when he opens
yeah.
his mouth, it like has the same portal thing that like captures the
Oh, I didn't
logo.
catch that.
At least that's what it looked like to me because it was like a black,
Yeah.
but it's like so jarring that you're like, oh. But then when I'm thinking about it now, memory wise, which human memory is crazy, might not be right. It did look like the
No,
little black orb things that were like closing the portals. Also, I like the portal technology. I like the way they established all of that. I like the way that the Justice Gang
man.
comes in. That was hilarious. I think a lot of the pivotal scenes, right, where you go and like, if we were to break it down like kind of quickly, Superman gets his butt kicked. Superman fights this like giant big thing. Justice Gang comes in. Superman has the fight with Lois. Then Superman's like dealing with like depression, and in the background they have like the Justice Gang
Oh, because
fighting
when the
this
monsters,
random.
yeah, 'cause yeah, at the monster scene is when they leak, because like Lex leaks the tape of his parents saying that he's really sent to Earth to conquer everyone and
Yeah,
have a harem of women and spread his seed all over the world just
yeah.
to get his Krypton DNA out there.
Specifically in
And
Bavaria, apparently. Bavarian
he
women are
likes
attractive.
Bavaria and women. Yeah,
Bavarian women are attractive.
man, I'm telling you, man, that movie is.
I'm like, if you like, there was that. Okay, this is something that actually did piss me off. There was a guy who's like, I was a fan of Superman, and then I'm not a fan of him no more because he's an evil. Like I'm like, this all it took. All it took was for you to get like one line of someone
Oh, the guy,
allegedly
yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah, the
like,
guy
like,
in the movie, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was sitting there going like, dude, like, how?
I was a fan of Superman to that tape leak. Man, now F Superman. It's like, are you a Fairweather fan then?
Yeah, oh, he's fair weather as shit. But it was a good way of like showing how messed up the media can get. Um,
how did you feel about Lex when they were interrogating Superman? Because it is like basically capture Superman, stick him in a cage of Metamorpho. Metamorpho turns into Kryptonite to weaken Superman. How did you feel about Lex killing the falafel guy?
I was shocked that they would show him being killed and nothing like
He
and
killed,
no
he
recourse.
assassinated point blank, gun to the head. He had a revolver that he'd spin around,
Yeah,
Russian roulette style. Superman answers this question, and Superman was like, I wouldn't answer it. Click the gun, click. Second time, boom, killed my
yeah.
man.
I was
Headshot.
shocked that they did it in a way that just like really shows. But here's the thing that's always annoying me about Lex, at least in this variation. He does so many things that are just loose ends. Like there's just so many loose ends. For instance, we have your baby. If you go and don't listen to us, we'll kill your child. No one's there watching to make sure that the guy's doing his job and that they're not going to just bank on Superman saving anybody.
I'd say that's a slight little plot hole because the guy holding the baby, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be the guy watching.
And he should have been able to
Why he
see.
doesn't do anything when
He
stuff
literally, if I was that guard, I would be like, Put the green hand back up. The green hand's not there. Hey, there's no green hand. We got problems."
I think because I think you're supposed because the way I understood it, he was supposed to snap that baby's neck or something like that. Like as soon as he was supposed to take care of that baby in any way possible if my man stopped doing his job. Because I think that was supposed to be one of his employees because he was sitting there holding it and he was like, "Hey man, we got your baby over there. If you're not doing right, because like why else would somebody be like why else would somebody like why would another prisoner be you know what I'm saying like why would he
Yeah,
just be sitting there holding the baby? It's got to be one of his employees. But like why he didn't I just don't understand why he didn't do anything.
I mean,
Which yeah, that
honestly,
is
you could fix the whole thing by just making it so that he changes his hand to a green glow and not actually kryptonite, and it would have been the
that's
same.
what I was waiting for him to do something like that. The minute he stops doing the kryptonite thing, it should have been like, hey, turn your hand back or else.
Yeah, I
But
actually, I actually think that Metamorpho, for me, got hurt a little bit from James Gunn. James Gunn has like this very like goofy. People are kind of like this, like making characters more goofy than they should be, right? Metamorpho looks goofy. He has a random child that's a green, like Martian Manhunter looking thing, right? I thought it was Martian Manhunter baby. Um, but
the
then
baby looks
he,
goofy. I thought Metamorpho looks fine.
well, no, I think he looks fine. But what I'm talking about is like his actual visual aesthetic is goofy, like having like orange, purple, gray, like that, like
But
kind of like misfit kind of not like nostalgia. But then the way he acts is very like dumb, right? Like very like goofy. And I'm like, it would have been really interesting to realize that he is hyper intelligent or something like that, which is I guess is also a trope that you can't get out of like either variation. It just would have been made more sense and would have helped Metamorpho show that he actually knows how to use his powers and how to like change things up. Because he, the fact that he can make a sun and he like recites how to make a sun shows that he's
yeah,
not stupid. But then he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, Superman, hurry up!" You know, and it's so like, motherfucker, don't, he's poisoned, and you all you did was turn the poison off. Like you didn't think about any of this shit through beforehand. Like, doesn't make any sense. That unfortunately that annoyance kept throughout the entire film until he fought in Bavaria, and then he fucking used that giant hammer. I was like, that's kind of cool. He's like
I will
turning up
say,
half fucking hammer.
because the guy they casted was Anthony Kerrigan, right? Which the
Mm.
minute they casted him as Metamorpho, I figured that's what we'd get. Because Anthony Kerrigan, I don't know if you ever watched Barry. He plays the Soho Hank, which is hilarious.
Oh, oh,
I don't know if you ever
I
watched
don't like that at
Gotham.
all.
In Gotham, he was Zaz, which I, I don't know how he managed to kill the Zaz and bring a jokier kind of edge to Zaz, because Zaz is a straight assassin,
Yeah.
serial killing, crazy son of a gun. But he like brought some comedy to him. Like so, me personally, I'm a big fan of Anthony Kerrigan. So
Mm.
once they casted him as Metamorpho, I knew what essentially that we get like a goofier kind of take on him, which I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how I've seen him portrayed. I don't know if I've ever seen him portrayed in a necessarily super serious light, other than Young Justice, which
Mm.
Young Justice did a whole twist on his character to begin with anyway, where they made him Tara's sister, and they did a whole bunch of stuff there.
That's wild.
Which, yeah, they did a whole twist on that stuff anyway. But it was good. I thought it was good. But anyway, I digress. So me personally, I loved it. But
Mm.
I'm gonna love most of what Anthony Carrigan gives me.
So I will say that whole scene was very upsetting in general, just because of like the situation,
We'll say that.
Crypto getting brainwashed. Superman punching that guy in the face made me feel great. Um, the fact that like they were tattletales, insane.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that.
I didn't, yeah, I was like, y'all really are, but maybe they were just that badly. But the thing that's annoying, right? That I say this annoying in terms of when you're a fan of something like Marvel and you watch like Eternals and then you go like, hey man, there's a sword for that used to be for the Black Swordsman. You go like, Black Swordsman's here. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of go like, okay, Harrington's
Oh
Black
yeah,
Swordsman, and you kind of get excited. You're like, oh, this guy? Oh, that's Heracles. Oh,
yeah.
when they show like in this one, they show so many off-brand characters from the DC universe. Like when I remember watching Unlimited, and I just see like an infinite character like Aztec Man or something. I'm like, what's his power? What is Aztec warrior guy? But it's one of those things where the freaking people that are imprisoned, I thought they were like important because they were like pointing like, ugh. And I'm like, maybe they're just, but like I don't get, I didn't get that part. You know what I'm
I'd
saying?
say if this was a Marvel movie, there would have been some Easter eggs in there, like, oh, is that was that Martian Manhunter they showed in there, and
Is
they
that
do some
Plastic
stuff like,
Man?
yeah. Ooh man, I can't. I hope they do a plastic. I hope they have Plastic Man somewhere in this DCU.
Yeah.
I really do hope. I don't know who they'd cast as it, but I'd love because they had was it Plastic Man they had in the Flash? I can't remember if it was Plastic Man or if it was that other. Because there's two stretching people in the DCU. One's Plastic Man. I can't remember the other one. And they kind of did a mix and match of the both of them. I think within the Flash TV show. But one's a lot different than the other one. But I hope they do Plastic Man.
It'd be good. It would be good for James Gunn. He gets it as James Gunn has shown with the engineer, body like weird shit. Like being able like the engineer when she's in the thing and they're like going through the stuff and then she like does a backflip or something, or like, and then like her whole body
She
swings
turns
or
around,
something.
but she like does a handstand and turns her body around. Which I've heard people talk about how the action scenes in this movie were boring. I'm like, yo, the scene with the engineer I thought was dope.
Yeah, the scene with the
I
engineer
thought
was
her doing
cool.
stuff was dope.
I think the thing when they say boring, it's because Superman creates a level of like this might not hurt somebody. It's kind of like the Dragon Ball Z effect, where it's like these guys are getting punched through like billions of boulders. And there was a time when Dragon Ball Z was like, these guys are strong, but they can take damage. And then there was a time where they're like, no, they're just really strong, so it's gonna take a lot more. In this variation, Superman is strong enough to take a lot of these like hits. So the way that they made it interesting for me was that like he has to hold a baby while doing it. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's.
The
I thought
portal's about
that
to
was kind of interesting.
close. Um, I think one of the
But
coolest fight
even
scenes was Crypto versus Luther. That scared the crap out of me. I was like, Crypto's actually going to
it
kill
was sort
Luther.
of like it was sort of like a jump scare, yo. It was
Yeah,
like it was so funny because like in that moment, it's funny because like in that moment you kind of you want Superman to like punch Lex or something like that. But he just got finished doing his whole speech about I'm human just like anybody else. Blah blah blah. Like he gave through like a solid speech, and it's like you can't have Superman punch Lex in the face. You
yeah,
can't. So you have Crypto come in and do it for you, and
yeah,
Crypto whoop that man's
yeah.
ass.
Broke his arm, whooped him, and
That
everybody was
that
just
was
sitting there going like,
it gave you that cathartic ending because Lex got the ass whooping he deserved. Because the whole movie you're waiting for Lex to get his ass beat because he needs to because he's been doing a lot of. He shot my man for no reason. There's even a point earlier where like because the thing is they show you setting off a rift and or no setting off like a wormhole that like expands and starts to destroy Metropolis and it's gonna eventually like destroy the whole Earth or whatever. And there's a point where like they talk about it's about to get to this place where people were there and Lex is like and one guy's like let me go ahead and turn the wormhole thing off. Let me turn it off. And I was like no, they chose Superman, so let them get what they deserve. And I'm like,
yeah. I
yo,
was like, yo,
thanks,
that
bro.
Lex. That's not even it, man. They might just be having like celebrating like an event, dude. They just don't have.
Maybe they didn't get the memo. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe they're too bored. Maybe they're trying to get out. Like, bro, what are you doing? But just again showing how much he hates Superman
yeah.
and anybody lined up with that dude. But
I will say one of my favorite scenes was Mr. Terrific whooping
that's
old
what I was about
LexCorp.
to say. The Mr. Terrific. Oh, wait, you talking about in Lex Court?
Well, no, when he goes into like the Lex Island to go and
Yeah,
figure
when he
out
goes
where
to
it is.
the camp, and they,
Hey, you
I don't
gotta
know if
get
they
out
call
of
that
here.
them.
Get out of here, Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific's like,
He was like,
I.
"Hey, freeze! Get out of here!" He's like, "House will tell you the same thing." Commences ass whooping.
Oh my
Yo,
god. Yeah.
yo,
He was just dancing to it. It was like the what was the like the Sonic movies when they do like the cool like dance sequences. My heart goes boom 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 boom. You know, when like everything slows down. It kind of felt like that, where it's like
oh
you get like that Sonic that like this character is about to show you exactly what he can do when he's like cooking with some gas. And I like
yeah,
it shows Mr. Terrific as this like actually really cool character.
real
Because like
competent. He can fight. He's smart, but he can
yeah,
also whoop some ass if need be.
when he was hanging out with the Justice Gang, he was kind of like, "Here's my like goofy chair, and I'm getting my ass kicked." When he was just fighting regular people,
Had to run away
yeah,
from the kaiju biting him.
and he's like trying to go fast, like, whoa. I was like, this guy's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
lame. But that's like kind of the gimmick is that they're all kind of like goofy. But then Mr. Terrific just showing people what's up. It's like
Yeah.
he
Because
whooped, and all
literally,
those guys can fight. Well, not all
oh
of them,
yeah,
but like
it
the
was
guys in the
the rap
suits.
whatever who had their
Yeah,
super suits and whatever. And he took them all. It was like what, like at least 15 to 20 of them. He took them all
yeah,
down by himself in his T spheres.
yeah, and literally like without really breaking a sweat, he's like, all right, we gotta go. We got
I
let's
love the part when he sticks his hand out, the ball comes, he like this little spin in the air. Oh
yeah.
man, I
Uh,
loved it. And I loved how like he was, dare I say, black AF without
yeah,
doing overboard. He's like, man, damn, man. But it didn't feel like there's like whoa. I don't know. I can't think of what movie it is I see where like they have a black hair like, well, damn, son. And that's all. That's his only line in the whole movie. But like,
yeah.
no. He was just it was Mr. Terrific. I don't know. It was I
He
loved
was like
every
the Samuel L. Jackson character, where it's like a guy who like is tired of everyone else's shit, and so he's just
yeah
kind of like, man, shut your
yeah.
ass up.
That's the thing. He's so smart. He's just tired of everybody else's shit. That's the
Yeah,
thing. It's like I'm over all this, bro. Oh my god. Like even like I love the part when they get to the Let's Corp thing and like the guy's like the guy that can shut off the black hole thing is
yeah.
like, hey, it's right over here, man. It's right over here. Like, do you want me to help you show it off? And like he mushes his face. He grabs his man's face and says, man, get out of here, man. You
Man,
think
get out
I
of here.
need your help? I'm
I already
Mr.
know. I already
Goddamn
know this.
Terrific.
I already know this code. Do, 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 do. That
He's like,
was
I'm goddamn amazing. I'm like, bro, oh my god. Yo, no, Mr. Terrific, 10 out of 10.
yeah. I liked how this jacket
Man,
had fair play on both sides. My little brother pointed that out
yeah,
afterwards. I was like, oh, that is cool. His
yeah.
whole demeanor and everything. Um, Guy Gardner started to like really um
I love the middle fingers. I love the middle fingers he had when
yeah,
he
my audience was loving it. I think like the scenes that like really made people laugh was like Superman depressed, just sitting drinking something. Lois is talking like giving him
and
mental
Pisces in the
advice,
background.
and in the back yeah in the background is just Guy Gardner's fucking like hammer going like bonk bonk and like they're just fighting this like giant thing, and even Lois is like, you think you should help them? Like, they got it, we're good.
They'll be fine.
It'll be fine. And it was just one of those cool moments where it's like it shows what James Gunn does to a world where he trivializes amazing events, but not in a way to make the events be less amazing. He's just like, look, this is the world you're in. Like if you're in Game of Thrones and you see a dragon, but you're during the era when there's not many
Dragons are all
dragons
out.
left, or that everyone assumed that all the dragons are dead. It's crazy. But during the time like where the Targaryens were ruling, it's like, if you're going to King's Landing, congratulations, you're going to see a dragon. But no, this one was like crazy just because of the fact that like, oh my god, like the way that they showed the surrealism mixed with the realistic ideas of like, oh, here's General Flag, here's this other guy, here's
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you
I forgot
know,
all about Flag.
unfortunately they're gonna bring in Amanda Waller, and that's gonna break my heart because I don't want her to exist, especially because now that they have a Peacekeeper existing in this world, that means that there's definitely
What do you hate Ben Waller for?
oh because what? Why do I hate Amanda Waller?
Yeah.
Ah, dude, I hate her so much. Amanda Waller's like the worst character because she's an angry black woman who is like her whole character is designed to be amalgamation of a lot of ideas, but them trying to create a villain in the aggregates of other things, if that makes sense, right? Because it's a regular person who's in the she fulfills the same exact role as the girl from Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
But the problem is the girl from the Thunderbolts isn't actually that intelligent, whereas Amanda Waller is highly
Pretty much.
intelligent and uses her
Yeah.
political power. Like that's the thing I really didn't like was just like Amanda Waller was like, I'll kill all these people. I don't have a problem like causing beef with people. And I'm like, look, I don't understand where you get your like bravado from. Because like like in a lot of the series when Amanda Waller comes into existence, it's like we've seen Darkseid, and she's like, Batman, I'm better than you, and I kick Superman's ass too. It's like, have you seen Darkseid? He kills planets, bitch. What are you going to do? I'm gonna go and send Suicide Squad, and what? And lose to Darkseid because he's gonna explode you? You know, like there's certain times where like there's the humanity arrogance aspect, and Amanda Waller's character and Lex in this current movie both fulfill that. So if you get Amanda Waller with her arrogance, narcissism, and like a willingness to like abuse her power and authority with like a Lex Luthor in the same vein on screen at the same time, I would lose my mind. I would be like, "Where's Owlman at? We need Owlman to just come in here and give some people some." You know what I'm saying? Like we need. I can't deal with all like I was already fuming when I was watching Lex do Lex things. I was so
Oh, yeah.
fuming. Oh my god.
Okay. I mean, so you hate her more so just because,
I hate her as a character because that's the design of the characters to make you hate her,
yeah.
which is
Right.
the thing.
Okay.
I'm not literally like saying like she's a bad character. Sorry.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
Sometimes people use hate in different ways. I hate her because
Yeah.
she's a good villain character that you're meant to hate,
Yeah. That's
not the
fair.
fact that like, you know. because like Darkseid kind of like he's a problem, but like I don't dislike him because he's kind of he exists in a different area that's doing his own thing, and he's just a problem. It's like Galactus trying to eat a world. It's like he's just hungry. He's a hungry boy. You know, he ain't doing this out of malice. He's just hungry. Um, but no, it's yeah. I can't wait to go in and like read the comments, and everyone just be like, "I hate this guy's not like lack of knowledge of comics. It's terrible." I'm like,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I mean, I think it's fine. Because I think most people that are gonna see the Superman movie don't have the like an amazing comic book base. As in general, like even Marvel movies, most people that see Marvel movies don't have. They made it where it's like they made these superhero movies where it's not just the comic nerds that are going out to see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
everyone's going out to see them,
yeah.
which I think a lot of people. I can't remember. I don't know what the numbers are, but I think a lot of people are seeing the Superman. Let me see. What was the opening weekend box office for Superman?
Always a lot.
Um, yeah, I think a lot of people are going out to see this movie globally with 217 million at the box office. That's I mean, look, we're also. I think even Zaslav. I saw earlier today. Zaslav dropped some statement about how there's a 10-year plan moving forward, like this, because I think there was a lot riding on the Superman movie.
Yeah,
There was a lot. If this came out and bombed, who knows what would have happened? But like because it's doing so well, they're like, yeah, we got this thing covered. So apparently, the Supergirl movie is finished. They've got that done and waiting in the chamber. They've moved on. I know they greenlit the screenplay for Swamp Thing, so that's on the way. I think that is gonna be the third movie that they do is Swamp Thing. Um,
that's gonna be crazy.
yeah, yeah, I know. Which
No,
this
no, no,
isn't
no,
DCU.
well, I'm saying it's crazy because the fact that not only is it like it's a Guardians of the Galaxy level pull, where it's like these guys matter, but Guardians of the Galaxy mattered now. Like they matter
Guardians
now
of the Galaxy did
because
not.
they didn't
Yeah, they
matter at
matter
all.
because yeah, they did not. They did not matter at all. They were literally. I only think they were making comic book. I think it's been a while since they were even done Guardians of the Galaxy comics, and it brought it right back into rotation
Yeah,
like
that's like
immediately.
them
People
literally
loved it.
being like prior to Squirrel Girl's popularity, right? Where she was just like a goofy character. That's like them like replacing Spider-Man with Squirrel Girl, and then everyone be
Yeah.
like, "I don't think this is gonna work," and then they like randomly Squirrel Girl pops off. Like that would be the kind of level of so the Swamp Thing being in this is kind of like because everyone's gonna be waiting for Batman. But the thing is, like Batman situation's tough because there's a lot of people who've either done Batman, might do Batman, or there's like a thousand different
Well,
variations
no,
of.
they've got it. I don't know. I don't think they've casted it yet, but they already have a director tied to the film. Like the guy that did the Flash movie is gonna do the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh,
Which I know everyone's kind of like sitting on their pins and needles, seem like I don't know what's gonna happen here. But
you mean
like I
the
don't think he's the
Flash
one
movie with
writing
the guy who like was weird, just crap?
it.
God,
Yeah.
who was
Well,
it?
not Ezra Miller, but like the director for the Flash movie. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
I didn't like that movie,
Um,
to be honest with you. But then again, I also didn't like Ezra Miller, so maybe that's just my own.
I mean, I think Ezra Miller was miscast as Barry. And I
Yeah,
think they did a lot of pivoting where they were trying to make that Flash a little bit more like a Spider-Man type of character when he was coming out because right around the time that he debuted, I think is when Spider-Man took off. I think I can't remember specifically, but I remember getting very much the Spider-Man character vibes from his portrayal in like the first BVS or whatever it was where we first
yeah.
started seeing him. I can't even remember now, but like they're doing Brave and the Bold. The name is Brave and the Bold, and I know they're going to be doing I know there's going to be a Robin tied to this Batman. I just can't
Mm.
remember if it's going to be Damian Wayne or if it's going to be. I can't remember who the Robin's going to be for
It
this
better
one
be
because the
Grayson.
thing is, I don't know. I can't say that for sure because I know the Matt Reeves Batman 2 is also introducing a Robin, and I know they're different Robins. One is doing Damian Wayne, I know for sure. Which honestly I think Brave and the Bold is doing Damian Wayne because they're doing a Batman in the Sun type of story, and I think the Batman 2 is supposed to be doing. I can't remember if it's Dick Grayson or if it's going to be like Jason Todd. I don't remember for sure,
Do you think they're just gonna
but I
pick
know.
whichever Batman does better in the box office and then incorporate them into the DCU?
No, I don't think so. I think the Matt Reeves one is with Robert Pattinson is definitely going to be like an Elseworld. We're keeping this separate, and this Brave and the Bold one is going to be the DCU one.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe they might switch it up, but I think that's the plan is to have this the Batman Brave and the Bold be this year's Batman, which I think is why they're taking a while to really kind of figure out who they're going to cast for it. and really kind of lock it down something serious.
You want to hear? You want to
But
hear an outrageous take, right quick? I would love for them
yeah,
to go and make Brave and the Bold a one-for-one remake of Adam West's Batman.
that would be so bad.
I want him to like take like really crappy gadgets and like him to be like, "Watch out, Robin! I'll use my special bat spider chop."
If you want to piss off millions of people,
No. Problem is, like, no one wants this until they think about it. Like, just let it simmer, and then you're like, it's a goofy Batman who is intelligent like Sherlock Holmes, but not like he's not like he doesn't take it too seriously. So you're not getting like angry. You're not getting like want to see like not that. I'm not trying to make fun of Heath Ledger, but what's the joke on other Joker? Uh,
uh, Carlos, you know, talking
Leto,
about
Leto,
you know, talking about the
Leto,
old.
Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah,
That one, that terrible one. Because he has like a tattoo
yeah,
thing. He's like, I don't know. Anyways, but
yeah.
all
Oh,
that to say,
did he say? Did he not say hubba hubba in some at some point in that movie? I
I
swear he
feel like
said. I think we were talking to comment. He said something. But anyway, I.
yeah.
Uh,
Keep those memories in the back of your mind. Shout out to
oh,
Blue
so
Beetle
I do
for
want to
not
say.
existing in this world, unfortunately. It was
I
actually
do
a
want
good
to
movie.
say the director. I don't know. Do you know Mike Flanagan?
It seems very familiar. I don't know why I
He's
don't.
done a couple Netflix shows.
I see.
Um, what else has he done? All I know is he's doing Swamp Thing, and I am super excited about that.
Oh, he
He's
just
done
did the
like
life of Chuck.
huh?
He did the
Oh
life of
yeah,
Chuck.
I don't know if you saw Life of Chuck. That was all right.
Doctor Sleep.
Um, yeah, Doctor Sleep. He did. I don't know if you saw Haunting on Hill House or whatever, or those trilogy of shows.
Oh, they're gonna do Clayface.
I've been saying Swamp Thing. I meant to say Clayface.
Oh, you,
I've been saying Swamp Thing this whole
you
time, haven't
dirty
I?
dog. Yo, you know what the worst part is? He would do a good Swamp Thing too, because if he's known for doing horror films and doing weird stuff, also that Clayface like artwork looks horrifying. That would be crazy. It'd be weird though
I've been
to
saying
have like your
Swamp
third
Thing this
movie is
whole time.
Clayface. I don't trust any
Oh
movie
my god!
that like
See,
that's like
go ahead.
that's like the fourth movie being like Solomon Grundy. It's like, wait, we're not touching. What are we doing here? Like, I
Yeah,
don't trust
I
because like, here's
completely
the thing
forgot.
that like a
I
lot of movie
completely,
makers don't, or they know but they don't really acknowledge. People get old, and you have to have the cast at the right ages at the right times. Like the reason why the Marvel movies did so well is because you had like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, freaking I was about to say Tony Stark, but Robert Downey Jr. But they were all like in like the right age group. You know, Scarlett Johansson was in like the right age group. Mark Ruffalo. So you have all these people
yeah,
like in the right age, and they're all growing old together. So that when they're done, it makes a little bit more sense. If you go and like throw away movies because each movie takes a year or so to make, you can mess up your universe quick. Because the problem with live action is that the people get old.
yeah.
They get old,
But I
they start
mean,
having kids, they die. You
But
can't
I
just.
mean, I don't think this is necessarily a throwaway movie per se. It depends what they plan on doing, I guess, with Batman's world. Because this might not be a throwaway movie as much. I mean, like it's not like don't get me wrong, it's not like Clayface is about to be in the Justice League or something like that.
Oh,
But I think
it's also not going to
this
be
is
what was it? Fucking Craven the Hunter.
which I mean, I will say though, because there is a arc. What's it called? Batman Inc. There was a comic book arc where it was like Batman, where it was like Batman Inc. and it was Tim Drake, Clayface, Batwoman, and somebody else. I think was on that team. They had a little trio team because Clayface. I forget why Clayface was good, but like he was actually part of the team for a little bit of it. But like that's not. I highly doubt they're doing something like that. But I'm just saying. Um, I think this is more so the DC universe expanding and not doing just comic book movies. I think this is a way for them to do like more of a horror esque, like dark tragedy thriller type of movie, as opposed to just doing so that they can expand and saying instead of just being like, we're here to do comic book movies, we're gonna give you the same old stuff. We're doing all sorts of different things here, and this is to prepare you for that early on to let you know
Yeah.
we're not gonna be just setting up this big cinematic universe without dipping our hands in different things.
I mean,
Which I think is it was
honestly,
I think
it works well if you're if going off of that because considering that everyone knows who the hell Batman is, you have 1,000 different Batman movies. You can literally
yeah.
make movies based off of Batman's gallery that people are either know of or would be just interested because you can just do a movie called like Clayface. You could do a movie called Penguin, a movie about Joker. You
Yeah.
probably can't call it Joker though. You have to call it something weird because people will get it confused with like
Over
Joker 3.
Folie à Deux.
Yeah, Filet do or something. And people really did not like, but I guess that's because people were expecting him to actually become. Anyways, that's a whole nother movie. But it would be cool, like Two Face. That'd be a fun movie for like Batman to have to like deal with. But you're focusing on Two Face's like situation.
You could legit do probably like a Two Face kind of gangster movie where it's like Two Face probably like feuding with crap. What's the guy from the Birds of Prey movie, Black Mask. You got where
Yeah.
it's literally just them two in the movie, and it's just about them having like a turf war and have it being like an old like Italian mob type of like gangster movie. Like,
I
you
was
could do
literally
like
about
you
to
could just
say
also
Tombstone, and then I realized that's fucking Marvel.
here's on Marvel. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It could be
But
a
you could do
Black Mass, Two
like that.
Face, Penguin versus Kingpin and Tombstone and Evil Spider-Man. Wait a second, guys. I think I got my. Anyways, sorry for cutting you off there.
But like, no, but like his Batman mythos, or even a lot of this DC stuff in general, that like there's so much that more that I'm hoping because if Clayface they drop Clayface and it takes off, I think that's gonna be their green light to be like, let's do other things within this comic book universe, so we're not just giving people just the same old. We can
Yeah.
dip into this all this kind of different thing. That's what Blade should be if we ever get a Blade movie. It's like it should be a horror esque. It
God,
shouldn't be a superhero thing.
please
It shouldn't be some horror.
cast Mahershala
Yeah,
Ali before it's too late.
yeah. Which I heard one of the main problems they've been having with that movie is they've been trying to set up a movie where it's Blade's like old and like his daughter is like it's a passing the torch to his daughter
Oh,
movie, which is like if you're gonna do that, why would you hire Marshall Ali? Like
yeah.
why not just if you're gonna do that, you should have brought back Wesley Snipes and done some kind of pass the torch thing rather than if you're gonna hire Marshall Ali, he should be the Blade in the movie and he should be the movie.
You know what?
Like
You know what? You know what I really want? Don't even bring back Wesley Snipes. We're doing an old man Blade because he is a vampire, so you have to do it really old. Get Morgan Freeman. I want Morgan Freeman as Blade. I want Morgan Freeman as Blade, and then he's going to pass the torch to SZA, so we can have a thick female vampire. That will be the greatest movie of all time. Just Morgan Freeman just going like, "I'm giving the torch to you, SZA," and then they just always
I
have
don't
back shots, not literally, but like figuratively. I should say that. Little more filmography, not you know what I'm saying. I guess technically it is still filmography.
you can get
Anyways,
that.
okay, but let's get into. We talked about kind of the movie. There's a lot of plot points. Go see it. Amazing movie.
Yeah, and
Feelings.
feelings. Because I just want to do a little thing too, just to say, because I know
Yeah.
usually our plan for this podcast, I think is like we'll have a movie, we'll try to figure out ways to kind of fix it and like change, make some changes here and there. I don't really have a lot of changes for this movie because I thought this movie was fire.
Mhm.
I loved it from beginning to end. Like I loved Lex crashing out at the end. I loved seeing Superman in this like more happier, lighter light. um, I love his connection with Lois. I love seeing Crypto. I seen some of the things I seen people complaining about. Some people complaining about CGI. I thought the CGI was fine.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't like there. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of it, but it was blended really well. Um, it didn't take away from what I was watching, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of people complain about how Superman was getting his tail whooped, but like I said, for the kaiju fight, he's spending half his time trying to save other things. Plus, he's trying not to hurt it. For the part where he's fighting against Ultraman slash really bizarre. I'm calling Bizarro. Forget that. It is Bizarro. Like when he's fighting against Bizarro, you gotta think about it. This is somebody who's basically Superman's strength being piloted by one of the smartest people on the planet who's watched and mapped out Superman's moves from the jump.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Like as soon as Superman figures out that he's using the cameras to track everything and yell out commands at him, he has Crypto smash the cameras, and you see Superman just slaughter him in that fight because he's not being controlled by the smartest person on earth who
Yeah,
has watched his every move for the past 3 years.
yeah.
It's like it makes them give you perfect context in this movie,
Also,
but
they
it's not
give
the whole
him
thing
a
serious.
victory lap when he fights all the regular guys, and he does like the cool
Oh,
Superman spin thing and stuff.
exactly.
The I think people were more expecting like a dark side versus Superman fight, where it's just like two people just fucking. Sorry, I'm gonna try to keep swearing to a minimum for this, but it's one of those things where it's like people wanted Superman to just run victory laps, and it's like the whole point is that
Got
this is
it.
the time where he's struggling. People don't trust him. People don't know why he's not doing certain things, and it's kind of a way to like let the viewer put their own bias against Superman on display and then to show why Superman does the things he does. Because he shows why other people do it, and it's like, oh, this isn't actually as nice as I thought, or as fun, or as cool. Where then you start to see that Superman is more, I shouldn't say more heroic, but he is more heroic because he's taking this like the high end, like he's taking the high road to the highest road, not trying to kill
And then
people.
yeah,
Good. Yeah.
and to be fair, they literally start the movie off telling you he hasn't lost the fight in 3 years. This is the first time he's actually ever lost the fight. Granted, that's a show don't tell, but like for his first movie, for establishing a conflict that's actually like manageable, like otherwise, because
Yeah.
this isn't an origin story where we're showing Superman learning his way. This is an established Superman, so like we're bringing in a threat that is an actual threat to him. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna see him get his name throughout this movie because
Yeah.
he has a threat. They've already told you this Superman is unbeatable. He's the strongest metahuman the world has ever seen.
Also, one thing to really point out how evil Lex is. There's an assumption that Lex was causing all these problems because he doesn't like Superman for those 3 years, just to go and test his strength and to test him to find ways to kill him. Which means that Lex was probably causing massive amounts of like billions of dollars worth of like problems. Which also means
There's a
that
good chance
well,
he probably would.
yeah, and he also funded billions of dollars of like wet ammunition into like Bavaria to cause like an actual like overseas crisis just to
Positive
kill Superman.
international comp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and here's the fun part. I don't think Lex had to go and pay for any of the damages.
probably not.
No,
Yeah, it's
which is
probably
like
not.
that. That would be infuriating. I've lost my apartment how many times because of this bastard? Oh my god, dude! Oh, I hate Lex Luthor. Um, but yeah, I think feelings on this is the same. It's very fun movie, very exciting, very interesting. Um, I kind of could do away with the Clark Lois vibes, but that's important to the story, and it's not something that needs to be taken away. A lot of the characters that exist that aren't getting like fleshed out, but you can tell that they are someone that you should probably maybe look at or just get some information on is really interesting. Um, I think for me, if I have to go, like, so feelings wise, really good movie, really enjoyed it. Was at the edge of my seat, felt a lot of like had emotions elicited from me I didn't expect in terms of like anger. I even was like, oh, Superman picked Lois up and put her on the counter. Ooh, oh, spicy, you know. And there's a lot of funny parts that really made the whole movie kind of stick out. If we go by fixes, right? I'll say straight up that like some of the like side things that existed, like they dealt with so many plot points that like for instance like the guy that just happened to like sell a falafel to Superman. They could have picked anybody. They could have killed literally anybody. Superman would have been upset. Like literally,
Yeah,
here's a random stranger. Answer or I'll kill them. Superman would be like, no, don't do it, and then he'd cry. The only reason why we care is because we can. It's for our benefit to know that he has an attachment to this person for some reason. Even
you
though
know, it's fair.
Superman would
It's
literally
like
have it.
flop.
Yeah, you could have literally shot a squirrel and Superman would be like, no, don't do that, right? Could have killed Crypto, like literally, or attacked him or hurt him. You could have just been hurting Crypto the whole time, and you would have gotten
Could he
the
though?
what?
That's the thing. Could he actually hurt crypto though? That's the thing.
He has
I don't know.
kryptonite, and he has the guy who can turn into kryptonite,
Yeah,
and he could have shown him cutting
but
off his hand while it was kryptonite to farm resources.
that's fair. That's fair.
Like
That's fair.
Lex, like you can really do a lot to make Lex look evil. I think overall though, like there's a lot of times where this movie kind of got hurt on the realm of, because it's a world building movie, you have a lot of plot lines and a lot of things that you have to bring in, a lot of things to keep the people engaged. So like people like myself and you who are seeing like certain characters or certain Easter eggs and going like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, does this matter? Kara showing up, things like that. Um, I didn't like the ending post credit scenes because I think some of the scenes of the movie could have been the post credit scenes. To be honest with you, I do like the fact that like
Okay.
Superman's like, oh, I'm kind of a jerk, you know. Um, but like
I thought
overall, mhm,
I think it was. I mean, I don't know why they did that, but I think it was just them kind of subverting post credits because they easily could have just made the car scene the post credit scene,
yeah,
and that would have been more traditional post credit scene. But I think it was just them subverting. I don't know why, but trying to subvert expectations. I guess.
they really
Um,
did an annoying thing, which was make the government guy not look like he knows what he's doing. Because like Lex is
oh,
kind of
they
like manipulating. Well, like Lex was manipulating like this like secret council of like American spies or whatever. And I'm just kind of like no one's really questioning whether or not like they do question Lex, but they don't like no one's running their own operations. Like, is it just Lex himself doing all the like doing all the footwork?
trying to do background research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you have a government agency, and it's like Homeland Security, where a guy goes to another country to prevent a war, which then because they live in your country makes you a proponent of a possible like this is like an international crisis. There is like levity. They talk about it, and then they're like, "What's the government doing about it?" We're letting Lex Luthor handle it. Really? This was the strategy. Like none of you guys have anybody. Like it would have been cool to like have a character show up that you know what I'm saying. Like there was an opportunity there, and I think they missed it. And it makes not only Lex look evil, but it makes this government, this shadow government, which is probably just gonna have Amanda Waller show up and be like, General Flag, I need your son to get killed, or whatever, right? Then we go into like the Suicide Squad tying them into the actual world, which is possible.
I feel like they probably possibly could have just. I mean, they could have done like a little hint, like, "A Flag, do you have that like?" Because I don't know, I haven't watched Creature Commando actually,
Mm,
because that's the Flag character is supposed to be the same Flag character in that cartoon
yeah,
as that's in this movie or whatever. So I haven't seen that to see like what kind of team he's got or whatever. But they could have just been like, "Hey, Flag, you still got your team," or like they could have actually hit up Maxwell Lord, like, hey, could the Justice Gang, do you think they could handle Superman? Because we
yeah.
got to bring him for some questions. And then he'd be like, have him just be like, no, I don't think they'd be able to handle it. And then Lex would be like, I told you guys, I got this plan. Like that's, I think it done something like that. I guess. Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
because like there was a certain level where it was just like the only people running the show of the world is Superman, Lex Luthor. We got nobody else. We got literally nobody else is trying to do anything except Lois Lane. Lois Lane kind of has an idea that like something problematic's happening in Mutant Toes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh,
it's also I
yeah.
was really sad because I thought Mutant Toes was like an acronym to like maybe like he's messing with like some type of like metahuman girl or something. I was like, oh Jimmy, my guy out here messing with the crazy characters. But no, it was just a the girl from the thing. It's weird. All that was all kind of like cute, funny, but it was also kind of honestly, you could have taken Eve out the show. Like you didn't need to have
Who?
the girl that was working with Jimmy to give information onto the. They didn't need her.
I mean, they needed an end somehow.
No, I
They could
mean,
have come up with something else, I guess.
no, they
But
just didn't need her.
you need
Like they
somebody
didn't need her at
controversial.
all. They could have literally just had someone else be a spy. It makes
I
Lex not
guess.
look
Like,
dumb because
why
Lex
would they
is
have a spy? Why would they
well
have a spy in Lex's? I guess they could. They could
because
have.
the
She could have a
government.
contact. Contact.
Yeah, the government would have been having a spy in Lex's corp. Lex would have been not trustworthy of everybody. It could have been the engineer or whatever, right? Like there's something that they could have done and not just be like Lex is so blinded by his own insecurities and whatever that he doesn't realize that having just a hot girlfriend that doesn't love him and that takes pictures of all the stuff that he's doing in the place that he's doing it. Like I would be fine if he like all put her to a room. He's like, babe, you're gonna have to stay over here while I go and handle something because he would have at least acknowledged
Yeah,
that
I
like
think supposed to be more of his hubris, right? Where it's like because he's this belief that like, I mean, if I ever have an ex that crosses me, or I've got a girl that crosses me, I just talk to her in my pocket dimension, bro. I ain't worried
Yeah,
about
I'm nitpicking. I mean, I am like legitimately trying to
it.
nitpick to
Fair,
go and make some fixes. But to your point, like
because they,
there isn't really much, there isn't really many things to fix because the
you know what I
movie
do?
itself
I'd have
works.
Yeah, you know how sometimes they did the theme. So I think in a lot of the earlier trailers, the theme had more of a guitar
Mm,
esque to it or whatever. I already
yeah,
stuck with that and kind of leaned heavily into that. That's my mini little fix
I
because
will,
that guitar theme was dope.
I
But
will
they kind of
say,
mixed it more with the Williams, whatever his name is.
yeah.
Is it
Also,
was it?
something we didn't talk about, Clark's dad being the person who played Kal-El and the mom. Um, they were like
What's
important
it?
characters that were forgettable at the same time because I forgot what actors they were. Like I literally like couldn't see
Bradley
their face.
Cooper.
Yeah,
But see, I think that also plays into the movie is like the fact that like his only influence from his birth parents was that opening message that he had that to begin with. That was his
yeah,
only kind of real connection to him. And then to show that because when the platform when you find out like more of the message is about conquering Earth more or less, and to show that how you felt about that initial message, what you believe that what you built that message up to be is more important than what that message actually was. And I think that was a good little theme or plot point or whatever they kind of put in there, so that
yeah,
his birth parents were relatively disposable. That's why at the end of the movie, they flip his parents comforting parents message or video is not that same video before. Now it's his actual parents. 'Cause like you said, he learns to kind of value his own parents and his real upbringing more than this built up image he's had in his head.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, honestly, like I think the one thing that we're agreeing on is that like there's not needed. Like we can nitpick and like ask for different
Yeah,
changes,
we
but it
can
doesn't
dip
hurt the story. I will.
nah.
One thing that was interesting, and this is like I don't. I'm gonna make this be the thing that we should probably end on because I think it's hilarious. Um, one of the things that the Superman costume was trying to do was to really showcase that it is still goofy. Like Clark doesn't take himself too seriously, and that he wears like the
Yeah,
red trunks instead of like some like
yeah.
super cool suit. Which is was funny, and I started to like really notice that when like they would only do like top cuts, but then when he goes onto the beach, they do like a full body thing, and he looks kind of goofy, like kind of malformed,
Oh
and
yeah, when
like
they're bringing him in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, here's a weird part. Looked like he was slinging some meat. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we're really showing some curvatures out here. Like, cause they even do a the side view, and I was like, what's going on? Like this.
I would say when I've heard people talk about the Christopher Reeves old school car because he had the trunks too, and
Mm,
I've seen like people post pictures on Reddit and all people in the comments like, oh man, he's really packing there over there. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a common theme that whenever they got the trunks, they got to be packing something. I guess I don't know,
it's a
but no,
good.
and that's the thing because James Gunn made a plot point because apparently they were going he was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about whether or not to have him in the trunks,
Mm,
and they ultimately decided that like yeah, this is Superman as a point to like make himself seem not as serious. It's like,
yeah.
let me do this. I know this costume looks a little bit goofy, but this is to kind of endear me to the people a little bit to be like, hey, I'm not just some total badass. Like I'm a lovable superhero, I guess, or
I'm just
something.
a regular guy, just like you, and I also look kind
Yeah,
of goofy. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
like, um,
Isn't that why wrestlers were wearing the bikinis to begin with or something like that? Didn't that have something to do with that?
no, it's because they were
I
trying to
forget.
go and show like that they were regular wrestlers, like Greco-Roman kind of thing, and then it turned
That might be
into
it.
because a lot of them would just wear like the straps over them, like the full
Yeah.
wrestling leotard gear, and then they would go in to show they're more muscular. They just wear like the speedos because they're doing like the bodybuilding kind of bodybuilder slash like yeah, like strongman. That's always
Yeah.
been a thing of just like this
Oh,
six
that's
foot
fair.
two
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
that weighs 250 pounds, his name old Curly, super strong, can punch anyone in the face.
yeah. I think to be honest, I think maybe I was reading more about something about Superman, and then I don't know where I got the rest of the thing from. Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
is there any closing thoughts about the movie? Anything that you want to?
Nah, I guess the only other fix would be more car or more
More
Hot Girl.
cars. What do
I
you
was
think,
just like, I
North
said,
Car?
I was, but I was like, that's not Car. It's more Hot Girl though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hot Girl really was missing. She's cool. It was kind of funny. She's like, "Hey,
yeah.
this guy's blinking me to death," which is hilarious. But I didn't
I
really
can't
see why
wait
she
because
was
they got a Green Lantern show on the way as well too, right? Where they've got
all the Green
the
Lantern.
guy that did the voice of Mufasa, as
Mm,
well as I don't know if you watched Rebel Ridge, but he was in Rebel Ridge as well
mm,
on Netflix. But they got him, and he was what else was he in? Yeah, okay. You ever seen Old, the M Night
mm,
Shyamalan movie?
mm.
Uh, uh, Never mind. He played in the movie.
Shout out to
He played
Cheddar's knowledge of scary movies.
But in the movie he played a rapper that was on the island. You know the movie I'm talking about though, right?
Okay, yeah,
Where
now I
like
get you. Yeah, the one where they hit the water and they get older.
they get old.
Mommy, I'm
Yeah, on an
pregnant.
island.
Whoa,
Yeah. He
whoa.
played a character on that movie called he was a rapper, and the
Yeah,
rapper's name was Mid-Sized Sedan.
this us
That
today.
was the rapper's
God,
name. And he
Midnight
was and the whole
Shyamalan was
movie, the
really
only thing
cooking.
the only line I swear the only line he had in the entire movie was damn. Damn, that was it. But anyway, I'm super excited to see him as Green Lantern because like I think he killed it in Rebel Ridge.
Mm,
There's another movie that I can't think of that I've seen him in that he killed it in. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see him as Hal, not Hal, Jordan, as John Stewart.
yep,
Um, yeah, I
yep.
don't know. I'm super excited for this for the DCU. I am so excited about what kind of things they're gonna do, what's gonna be coming up next. Because I've always been a deep more of a DC fan than Marvel. Even when the movies were giving us were a little bit more mid, I still appreciated them more than I did most Marvel movies. Um, so it's like I'm excited to see what we got moving forward, man. Because I
Yep.
know more about the characters. I attach more to like the world, so it's more exciting for me to see these DC movies than it is Marvel movies per se. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I've always been a fan, and that's just really Justice League animated shows of just watching even like the old Justice League shows where it was like they had the form of a plastic belt, the person shape of a bucket of water.
yeah,
Like
the
that,
Wonder
the one
Twins.
Wonder Twins where they had like that, and they had like the Apache guy who got bigger. Like that was the old school shows, and they had like the Doom. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah,
old like 80s.
yeah,
But I always like the way in which all the superheroes kind of work together in Justice League, where it's like, hey, here's a guy who's really fast, but he's like noteworthy. Here's another. Whereas like Marvel has always been kind of like so expansive, especially with like the X Men stuff being popular and like all their stuff kind of having their own niche popularity. That when characters used to go in from one side to the other, it was cool for a bit, but like no one expected them to just stay there. Whereas like
yeah,
seeing like Superman and Batman interact consistently is like awesome because they both fulfill these like niches and kind of I don't know. But that's also one of the things that like Marvel had like super smart guys, but it wasn't like overtly telling that like this guy is always going to be smarter than everyone else. Because like Reed Richards didn't prove that during Madness. I'm the smartest guy. He can stop you with his voice. Okay.
man. The way they butchered what could have been with that movie, I'd say the highlight of that movie is Sam Raimi doing Sam Raimi things. But
Mm.
there's oh god,
The
man,
one
they
good thing
really
about the Madness movie, when they had that jump scare, I actually got scared, Scarlet Witch, because they were like, "Oh, she's good," and they turned, and it's like, "Rah!" I was like,
yeah.
Like
You
I will
know,
say,
you know
Scarlet
what's
Witch being evil and scary and chasing people is actually scary. Like that was,
yeah. We know what's interesting about that movie because
mm,
what part of what messed it up, I think, is the what was her name, America or something like that, right? Or whatever the
yeah,
name of the girl that was Port Hopping.
because they were
She
trying
was
to pass the
supposed,
buck. Yeah. Oh, she was supposed to.
but she was supposed to be a big part of Spider-Man Far From Home or whatever. Like that was she was supposed to be introduced in that movie and play a big role in that,
Oh, that
and
would
then
have been
have her
good.
follow up be in the Doctor Strange movie. But they, I guess, with delays and all this other stuff that was going on, they completely kind of reframed what was
Oh
going on
no.
in both of those cases. Whereas like oh, so then it kind of so then you have like writing issues that come in because of that, because of like last minute changes here and there, and it's like so it's, I don't know, man. That movie apparently went through a lot of
That
Crazy. Like I
sucks.
think in one version of it, I think Wong was supposed to die or something like that. Like Wanda was supposed to kill
Jeez.
Wong. There was a whole bunch of changes, big changes that they went with that movie. So that we got a pile, not a pile of crap, but we got a something much different than what we were supposed to get. But anyway,
And you
I
know
don't know,
what?
man.
And to top that off, this movie really got me excited to go and watch Shang-Chi 2.
Two? Are they doing a Chomsky too?
No, unfortunately not. I don't know why, but when we started talking Marvel again, I'm just like, God, Shang-Chi was actually pretty good. And it did establish some
It
sort of
was.
cool stuff.
And they left him hanging until I guess until Doomsday. That's
Yeah.
when they're gonna because he's definitely coming back for Doomsday, and it's like we just left my man hanging. There's so many plot threads in these Marvel movies that they've been setting up for that have either gone nowhere or are going nowhere or just been waiting in purgatory. Like
It's
the
there's so much,
whole
yeah. Well,
yeah.
they asked
But
even
anyway,
all they asked. I think they burnt out their people because they were just like, we're gonna do Netflix series, we're doing all this
that's the thing
because
because
they
they're
pioneered
holding
it.
them hostage, more or
Hmm?
less, dude. It's crazy. Like they're holding a lot of these dudes like hostage. Like
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Marshall Ali has been locked up for like what, like 6 years, whatever they,
Yeah.
whenever, when was it that they announced Blade was coming out? He hasn't done anything since then because I think he's waiting for them to give him the go call so he can start filming this movie.
Yeah, because he can't go and
Um,
film. He can't if he films another movie, he loses his shot at being in this universe, which is tough. There's a let's see what DC has to offer. I think we can end it right
it's been
there.
almost 6 years since they announced he was going to be Blade.
Yeah, but now we get to
It's crazy.
play who's gonna be Batman in DC. Oh snap!
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring Wally West, and I'm tired of Bart. Barry, whatever. I, I,
Yeah, I do hope they do Wally instead of Barry
it works so
because I
much
mean,
well better with James Gunn.
and they don't even really they always do like even from the Flash TV show that was as close to Barry as an actual Barry as we've gotten. But even then, in terms of look wise, it was like Barry's a blonde.
Yeah,
He's not brown hair.
it's
But
like
like
you can't find a blonde person in Hollywood. Really, this we're having this hard at the time. I can't find a goofy blonde person in Hollywood. Guess who did? Marvel. They found like a million. They
yeah.
found all the Hemsworth. Like Jesus, God. Like, oh.
Right.
Anyways, we're going to get into
Yeah,
another rant. Let's go
yeah.
and let's
Which I
call
get
it. We can go and pass out.
all day. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Shout out. Thank you so much for joining me, as
Yeah.
always, Cheddar.
You talking
Um,
about me or you talking about people?
I'm talking to the fans, but specifically you, Cheddar.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
there
do
we go.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys for us.
Yeah, thanks for sitting with us, guys. Leave comments about like your takes,
Gonna-
your fixes. We are still new, but we will read those comments.
yeah,
Um, we're fanboys as much as anyone. As or lack thereof. I mean, some of y'all might see some of the things we're saying, aka what I'm saying, like you're wrong, and tell me, explain it to me, or write a synopsis.
yeah. Let us know, man.
Yeah,
Write,
like
review, subscribe.
yeah, we're not Lex Luthor. We have not hit our narcissism yet. I don't believe I'm better than Plato.
I don't have a pocket dimension where we hide all the haters.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
no.
Not yet. But soon.
Hey, man.
Take care, guys.
Until the
Deuces.
next movie.
Up, and away.